on in to the second installment of TK's Reality Bridge. I know that everyone's mouths are moving behind me, but do not worry, you cannot hear them whatsoever, so stress not. I will be undeafening them all in just a moment, and I've just realized that every single time I click on Discord, Starlight Siren disappears, but that is absolutely fine. It has been a long time coming, but thank you all very much for joining on in. This is going to be a Splatoon 3 Direct. Showcase? Talk? Maybe. Maybe so.
I just want everyone to succeed and we get to the end of it. I like that competitiveness for sure.
Well,
So
we're live, pal.
Hi. We're like really involved in this discussion. We were just talking about Splatoon, getting a head start.
And that is absolutely fine. Normally, what happens is I fire off the World Live message, and then suddenly everybody stops. But I kept seeing you all just completely engaged in talking, so I was just like, you know what? Fine, let's cut on in. let's introduce you all to the masses. So these fine folk are joining me. Some VTubers, some non-VTubers. You'll love to see every single one involved, and we will go down the line, starting from the left-hand side. Please feel free to tell us a little bit about yourself, your introductions, your pronouns, what you do, how much you like Splatoon, and maybe a favourite memory or two of your time with the game. Starting with Siren.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Starlit Siren. Please refer to me as Siren. I go by he, him pronouns or they, them pronouns. I'm the polarity of sea and stars, crystallized in ice, the keeper of balances, nightmarish protector of dreams. I am a Siren VTuber that is from the dream world. I am a variety streamer. I do partake in Splatoon 2 every once in a blue moon. Used to more, at the moment I'm more variety. But I have been in Splatoon from the very beginning with the first game, even before the first game, because for some reason I somehow got the game literally the day before its actual official release. Don't know how that happened. So I had a day's head start on everyone. But yeah, my things I love about Splatoon is as somebody that cares a ton about self-expression and being able to fully express yourself, knowing that Splatoon brings everybody together in the international languages that is fashion and the arts. I love Splatoon very, very much. And if I have a favorite memory, it would probably be when I managed to prove that in a time when people would mock the ink brush, I managed to prove to everyone that the ink brush can actually be a very terrifying weapon. And I still hold that today, and I'm very, very excited for Splatoon 3.
I am very happy that you mentioned the ink brush because A, I always loved using the ink brush and the octobrush, and B, that was pretty much me after the Tri-Slosher got nerfed, and I was like, but the Tri-Slosher's still good, guys, come on! So yeah, I am 100% with you on that. Thank you very much for joining. I'm very much looking forward to talking to you more throughout the podcast. Next on up is Melina.
Hi. I am a family-friendly streamer on Twitch. I primarily stream Splatoon. However, I do like to play the occasional indie game as well. I recently went through Celeste, and I went through Inscription, and I just finished Cult of the Lamb, so those are all really fun games. My pronouns are she and her. And yeah, I guess I stream sometimes, and my full-time job is a teacher, so I do a lot of things. I balance a lot of things. I really like Splatoon. I don't know how else to answer that question other than I really, 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 really like Splatoon. I like the style of Splatoon. I like the gameplay of Splatoon. I like the complexity of Splatoon. I like that it caters to all levels of players, that you can be somebody who just wants to play Turf War, and that's totally good. You can be someone who wants to be the very best in the West, and that's totally cool too. And I guess my favorite memory was when Nintendo invited me to go commentate the World Championships, and I got to meet a lot of really cool players. In 2019, and I also got to meet Mr. Nogami, and immediately when I came face to face with him, just like tears, I just started crying, and I was like, this game like means so much to me. I've met so many of my best friends from the game. I've met so many really cool, really great people who've been like enriched my life. So I'm really grateful to the opportunities that this game has given me, and I'm happy to be here to talk about Splatoon 3.
Thank you very much. And to be fair, I feel like a lot of people who got the chance to see Nogami probably had similar reactions, whether they were very much on show or hidden deep down in their hearts. I think everybody was internally crying that any chance you get to meet someone like Nagami. So thank you again. Thank you very much for joining on. Next on up, it's Nims. It's just Nims.
Hi. Hey everybody. So yeah, my Twitch channel, my socials and stuff is called It's Just Nims. My name actually is Nims. I do so my main forte job is I'm a presenter. I do lots of commentary work in the gaming world. And I'm an actor as well, so I do lots of film work and TV stuff. And yeah, when it comes to Splatoon, I was quite fortunate because I do a lot of work for Nintendo based in the UK. So I do a lot of their events, a lot of stuff on their YouTube channel. I was quite privileged to go to Gamescom and do quite a lot of interviews for them for upcoming games. I've done quite a lot of competition, commentary work, and live sort of presenting work for Splatoon. We have had lots of tournaments in the UK, sort of pre-COVID times, and we've had a lot of Splatoon stuff happening online. So we've had like live streams where we've hosted tournaments, etc. I've been a fan of Splatoon ever since it was announced at E3. Right from the first game, I was completely taken back by just the fresh concept being brought to the genre of a third-person shooter or that kind of genre of game. I just was really happy that Nintendo were going with a completely fresh outtake, because I believed at the time, I was just actually having this conversation with the guys in the chat right now. I was just having this conversation where I believe that when Splatoon was kind of first announced, there was a very sort of heavy cloud of a very particular type of shooting games at the time, and Nintendo just came along with this completely new, fresh idea, and it just introduced a whole world of people to that genre where it didn't feel so sort of heavy. And this game, as Mel was just saying, that you can be at any level and you can be any type of gamer and really get involved, and I really loved and appreciated that. So I've been a fan ever since the beginning. My favorite memory of Splatoon, I would definitely say, will probably be the 2018 UK Splatoon championships. I was very fortunate to host alongside 3 other fantastic hosts live in the UK, where we hosted the championships. And the winning team from the UK then got to represent the UK in the European Championships. And we were quite fortunate that Mr. Nagami actually came down to our championships. He helped host with us. I even got to play a game of Turf War with him, which was quite surreal. Fun fact, he is a mini Splatling user. And he is absolutely monstrous at it as well. He was just ridiculous. But yeah, that was a fun fact. And yeah, he was just really cool. And after the second day, he was like, "Hey, Nims," and I was like, "He remembers my name." But he was like, "Do you want to help me do the mini Nintendo Direct we're going to be doing tomorrow, where we're going to announce like some new info about Splatoon?" And I was like, "What?" Like, excuse me. So yeah, I've been a part of a Splatoon Direct, which I think, and just to be a part of that whole weekend, the championships, the Direct, just playing a game with Mr. Nagami-san was just phenomenal. So yeah, big fan over here.
Not slightly jealous in the
No.
least. Although having said that though, I was there as well. But also, I'll touch on that when we get back around to me. Don't you worry your butts about it. But thank you again, as always, for agreeing to come on here, Nims. Greatly appreciate it. And next on up, all the way at the far right end, we've got a lovely little owl on our screen. Hello.
Hello. Before I make my introductions, Nims, you probably would have met a couple of my colleagues, because a few people who I worked with actually produced that UK tournament before.
Oh wow! Okay, you probably
international.
Probably.
God damn! It's a small world after all.
It definitely is.
But otherwise, yeah, I'm Taido. He, they. I'm I don't have much lore. I'm just a silly, scatterbrained, bird-brained owl VTuber. But outside of this, you'll find me as a community influencer and a social media marketer for the games industry, usually bouncing between studios on a year-by-year basis. I've done a couple of cool projects, such as a little game called RuneScape, which you might have known of, just a little one.
Holy
Their
damn.
team. I'm now currently waiting on another MMO project I'm lining up this year, which is very exciting.
Ooh. I'm gonna look
In
forward to
terms of my
that.
favorite parts about Splatoon, I think that one of my friends there, I see you there in TK's chat, Sylvie, about how I took the hero Brella, all the way up through to like S rank in ranked in Splatoon. I was a
Nice.
hardcore Brella player, and I grinded that Brella out, the hero Brella out in ranked until
Nice.
Nice.
much to people's dismay and people bullying me. But god damn it, I was having fun. I like my Brella. No one will judge me for it.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. I love that so much.
Games industry's a small world though.
I know. It really do be like that. And again, as I've always said when I've been doing commentary for Splatoon, it doesn't matter what weapon it is. It doesn't matter if it's part of the meta or not. If you like it and you can make it work, go for it. You'll be surprised. So I'm very happy to hear that. And to be fair, I also had a similar moment with the Brawler where I just like, when it first came out, and I think it was like EGX, one of the early EGXs, was like the first time we were having like a championship. And I wasn't in proper commentating at the time. I just sort of like rocked up in my Yuka Kazumi from Toho cosplay and brought a parasol. And I sort of like got it out during the live stage. And I think Barry was just like, oh, there's a brother right there. I'm like, thank you, Barry. Thank you, Barry, as always. So yeah, fellow brother buddies, we love to see it. Thank you. Thank you very much for agreeing to be here.
Do I admit that I might have taken the bamboos though into ranked at some point?
Oh, god damn it. No, okay, I take it back. I take it all back. Slash J. We're fine. And last but not least, for those of you who do not know who I am the manipulator of chaos. You may refer to me as TK and or as Layla with she, her pronouns. Openly trans, and a married lesbian. You love to see me. We come to you live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday over here at TK_Later, where we play a variety of games. Sometimes it's nice, chill, critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV. Sometimes it's chaotic games like Fall Guys. And whilst I did used to stream a whole lot of Splatoon back in the day, and believe me, we played during the early stages of the test fire all the way back in the Wii U, so you know we've been at this for a long time. You can bet your butt I'll be coming back on in September when it officially drops. But yes, some of my favorite things about Splatoon 2, I think a lot of people have touched on it at this point, the sheer amount of customization you can have in this game. The sheer amount of weapon classes available in this game, like you can play whatever playstyle you want to. You want to play shooter? Go for it. You want to go for AoE pings? You got yourself your blasters. You want to play sniper? You got your charges. You want to play with the bucket, which is the best class in the game? Go for it. Join the club. In the bucket we trust. You get the general idea. And Nim just shakes their head immediately.
I love that we've literally started this like not even like half an hour, and like we're already like grilling about different weapons and different stats. Like, everybody's like, I use this and this is the best. That's it.
Yeah, to be fair, it's always going to happen. But yeah, the sheer amount of different playstyles you can have in this game, there is something for everybody, and it's always great to see that. In terms of favorite memories, oh, I hate to steal from Nims, but it has to be the Splatoon 2 UK Championship 2018, because let's be real here, that was my first year of casting, and to not only get the okay to do 2 of the qualifiers, but then to be brought in for the finale was a surreal moment, and I got to do both days for casting as well, which was completely, I say overwhelming, it was just, I could not have been more thankful for that entire opportunity if I tried. Bowie helped pretty much shape my casting as well, which was always cool. And again, getting to meet Nagami and being able to show him the runner-up plaques that I got from the Great British Splat-Off like the year or so ago was just, it was such a cool moment. And I even still have a specialized custom glass that my wife found for me. And she was like, I'm so proud of you. Here's this glass. I still have that glass. I still drink out of that glass. It's so cute. I love that glass so much. But yeah, just the sheer amount of friends that I've met through Splatoon. And most of it really came from that 2018 finale. And the best part about all of that is that someone came up to me and was just like, hey, that was awesome what you did there. I'm also trans, and you very much inspired me to continue on with this community and do my best. And I'm
Amazing.
I
just
love
like,
that.
and I'm like,
Amazing.
you're telling me that, and that's my first year of casting. Are you out of your mind? So yeah, that very much pushed me better, harder, faster, stronger. I'm very, very thankful for them and this community. So thank you all very much for choosing to be here, and thank you all very much for joining on in the chit chat. If you are dropping follows and resubscriptions and whatnot, I do apologize. The alert will not be pinging on the stream tonight for a variety of reasons. Same goes for VTuber Plus. There will be no items thrown. Again, no trucks. Thank goodness I am free from trucks for a day. But yes, we are going to be discussing the Splatoon 3 Direct. I get the feeling we've all watched it.
Yep.
What's
Wait, isn't this
Splatoon
about-
3? What's that?
Nims, you were immediately fired.
I love Baboon 3.
Oh my god.
Spleen? Is that what it's called?
Wait, is this new like equivalent to Clip Studio Paint? It's a painting tool, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
See, really,
Right.
I thought we were talking about I thought we were talking about the spin-off to the critically acclaimed Super Mario Sunshine.
Wow.
sorry.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wait,
Massive
is that the
apology.
one with the free trial, which you can go all the way to level 60 and
Oh
includes
my-
the whole of the Hades 1 expansion?
Good. I'm not the only one who has that spiel memorized. You'll love to see it. Right. Okay. Seriously though. Point is, we are going to go through the direct in order. There have been some snippets that were revealed through the website, which they dropped on us after the fact, which we will be touching on as we go. And also, a lot of people have been screen capping and specifically pointing out some of the combinations that we've been seeing in terms of the weapons. We'll briefly touch on those, but for the most part, this is our reactions and opinions to the direct and kind of things that we'll be looking forward to. Jay, you shush your mouth. There'll be no more puns from this point onwards. I say that knowing full well that Splatoon is based around puns, so never mind that.
No
Ignore what I
promises
just said.
made.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So,
Oh, you didn't want puns. You made a terrible mistake inviting me on.
Oh
Nim,
no.
to be fair, Nims does them too. You're fine.
Okay, you know what? Just, yeah, I'm not going to deny I do love a good pun and a good dad joke. Who doesn't love that?
Exactly. There we go. Right. So, onwards for real now. The direct started with kind of like how the Splatoon 2 direct started, for those of you who remember. When they did that direct, they very much had like the first part of it be kind of like a tutorial catch-up kind of thing about what the basis of the game is like. So basically mentioning things that we kind of already knew. So, you know, how to do Turf War, you're an Inkling, you're an Octoling. I like the fact that they didn't say squid form anymore. It's now swim form, which I guess makes sense because we've got the Octolings as a permanent part of the cast that you can get from the get-go. That's always good to see because we didn't have that. Well, to be fair, they weren't officially playable until the Octo expansion, so it's nice that they had them playable from the get-go. Splatsville is the heart of the Splatlands. Again, we kind of knew that already. Turf War has not changed. It is still 4v4 with 3 minutes. The main change that we already knew about as well is that you spawn in the air and you can pretty much choose whereabouts you land, which, to be fair, is flexible, fun. Very much looking forward to seeing that whole play out. Two abilities have been, two actions that are permanent for everybody involved. Squid Surge, so you can swim walls in an instant, needs a bit of charge to do so. And Squid Roll, which I have dubbed the, the usual Dark Souls mechanics of dodging out the way of every single attack. You U-turn with a brief invulnerability spot, which, straight out of Dark Souls, not gonna lie. That's the only time I'll mention Dark Souls for the rest of the stream. What do we make of the new actions in terms of Squid Surge and Squid Roll? Who wants to go?
It is good.
Thank you, Nims. Thank you very much. I'm honestly curious as to how it's going to react with specials.
I just want to. I just want to know what's going to happen with the really, really good Julie players, because they could be annoying enough as it was, but they're already rolling about the place. Now they're just going to have more options. To, I'm just going to have to get really good with the Julies and be that person rolling about the place. I get annoyed at people when I could be the one doing that.
That's fair. Or you could just have your umbrella open and hope that they roll into it. Anyway, Mel, I think you were going to take the conversation, so go for it.
Oh yeah, so I when I first saw it, I thought that it was really cool that they took into account that I guess players who try to get really good mechanically in Splatoon 2 use a lot of sub-strafing and they use main weapon strafing to be able to kind of reduce the frames from changing motion direction. Like when they're swimming one direction, if they want
Yeah.
to like immediately go the other way, they would use that. So being able to have like an actual like set action made for that exactly, and having a couple of frames of invulnerability, I think is gonna definitely change up the competitive scene a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that as well, especially considering the fact that I've watched dudes like show the mechanics of how to do that with the controller, and it's just like it's such a violent turn. So hopefully that lessens that a little bit. But I haven't said that; it probably won't, because people will still use that for aiming and observation, which is absolutely fine. From there, I love the fact that they mentioned the stages very early on, because it was one of the things that I was looking for. Now, for those of you who missed my reactions to the direct, I asked for everybody's predictions beforehand, and because I kept predicting this over and over with Splatoon 2, I kept going, Mahi Mahi Resort. At some point, Mahi Mahi Resort will come back. I miss Mahi Mahi. It is my favourite Splatoon 1 stage. Where is it? And then with the Splatoon 3 direct, it very much is a case of they have to announce Mahi Mahi. So, they announced, first and foremost, 5 of the new stages, a couple of which we've already seen. Scorch Gorge, which is pretty much, in the wastelands, where we normally see it. Eel Tail Alley, which is very much in the city, in the streets. Mincemeat Metalworks, which looks like an abandoned warehouse, which is kind of cool looking. And we got Undertow Spillway, which has very much sewage vibes, but that's just part of the course. And the new one that they revealed, which was Hagglefish Market, which is probably the most colourful of the new stages. I really like how it looks. I'm very much looking forward to giving that stage a whirl. It's also got all those cute little stands and stalls. It's a really cute looking stage, and I like that already. Greater Inkopolis is now the name that we are given to stages outside of Splatoon 3 setting, which is very cool. Museum de Alfonso we already knew about. Hammerhead Bridge has finally been finished construction-wise. You'll love to see it. I know one of my moderators, Parksy, was a big fan of Hammerhead Bridge from Splatoon 1, so I feel like they're probably very happy that that is back in its finished state. And I like the fact that they were even like, oh yeah, after all this time, it's finally finished. You can go above and we can turf ink in the bottom. And then, of course, they, showed off Mahi Mahi Resort, and I screamed my head off, because of course I did. And it looks even better. It's got a full-on concert stage in there and everything now, so it's even better. And it still has the mechanics for that level by the looks of it. It'll dip down as well throughout the match, so yeah, I'm very excited. The other stages that they announced, they are bringing back with Splatoon 2 stages, which is Inkblot Art Academy, Sturgeon Shipyard, Macomart, and Wahoo World. And there'll be more stages via free update. Now, one of those looks like a less vertical version of Flounder Heights. Am I the only one who's seen that as well? Because that definitely looks like the thumbnail for Flounder Heights, just less vertical.
Yeah, I definitely noticed it too. I was like, that's Flounder, but why is it so flat?
Yeah, it's so it looks so small now. Even that's the picture that they've taken it, and it's like there's actually a bit more at the bottom, but it definitely looks shorter than what we're used to. Which, to be fair, there were a few stages in Splatoon 1 that were quite tall, and we're not mentioning Mori Towers. We actually mentioned a couple other stages that were pretty much tall in there as well. So I guess that does make sense in a way, because we did see some slight adjustments, because Mori does not feel as tall as it did in Splatoon 1, even though it does still feel very tall.
We haven't seen the last of Moray Towers.
Oh, don't say that.
I think it's going to come back.
I
Definitely.
think it's gonna come back too, but I won't say that too loudly. I might get some tomatoes thrown at me or
Oh
something.
my god. If it
I think it's going to come back bigger and longer and more narrower.
More
And it'll
towers, more
Yeah,
towers.
just more.
my
It
God.
takes like a solid 2 minutes just to get to the
Okay.
bottom.
Oh no.
But hear me out. Hear me out. 4 towers for 4-way turf war.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. No, imagine
Oh.
a 3-way tower for Splatfest when we get the 3 teams.
Right?
Or
That would actually be insane.
Or or take Mori Towers away from the normal turf war rotation and have it as its own game mode and in like
Moray Towers game mode.
like have Mori Towers back scale up back to how it was in Splatoon 1 and have it like a specialized turf segment or something. It would just be like, yes, it's turf war, but not as you know it. It's just massive Mori Towers. Anyways, joking aside, there will be more stages via free update. The other one being a new map, which I have, which, you know, obviously doesn't have a name yet, but we'll probably get more information on that as we go. So, opinions on the new stages. Which one takes your fancy?
Well, I know Hammerhead Bridge doesn't take my fancy.
No.
That's the one map I didn't want to come back.
Oh, I'm sorry
Yeah.
for your
I would've
loss.
I would have taken Kelp Dome. I would have taken Moray Towers. I would have taken Arowana Mall above
Yeah.
Wow.
Hammerhead.
Wow, that much hate for Hammerhead, huh? Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I was really every time I played it in Splatoon 1, I was just so bitter and it just made me so angry. Yeah, I was that kid in my mom's basement.
If
It was, I mean, in Splatoon 1, there was quite a few maps that were like linear like that, just like one narrow sort of alleyway type of vibe.
Yeah.
Like in Splatoon 1, there was a lot of those. So I think when we got things like Kelp Dome, it was like, oh my God, it's wide. We can go that way and this way and that way. So I think, yeah, I kind of agree. I kind of agree with you there. Like, I think it's going to be interesting to see like what becomes the favorite, because a lot of people that I know as well were big fans of Mahi Mahi Resort. I loved Mahi Mahi Resort because it was so colorful and so different from the rest of the maps that were available at the time. But yeah, I think Mahi Mahi is probably I'm happy to see that come back for sure.
Yay! I have
Yeah.
fans. I have fellow fans. To be fair, so many things that I like about Mahi that you've already mentioned, and I also like the fact that it's slightly different for each of the game modes as well. Like some of them, it will just start at the lower level, and then you've got Rainmaker, where it's like when you get it past like halfway up that walkway on the side towards spawn, that's when it dips and it just opens it up completely. So if you do get splattered on that side, there's a very huge chance you can get just counter push straight back the other way. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I like about Rainmaker. We'll talk a little bit more about Rainmaker a little bit later for a variety of reasons you might be able to sense. But in terms of that then, does anybody want to take the microphone and say what map they hope comes back? Because I will say, still no mention of a specific stage from Splatoon 1. I forgot the name of it, but it's essentially the one that's kind of like it's in the single player as well. I've completely forgotten the name of it. Good job, me. How have you managed this?
What does it look? What does it look like?
Yeah.
Oh God, hold on. Give me my tab, quick. Somebody else mentioned.
Is it Bluefin? Is it Urchin Underpass? Is it?
Oh God, yeah, we haven't seen.
Salt spray rig.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen freaking. I forgot. The reason why I completely forgot about Urchin Underpass is because the fact it's in Mario Kart. I straight up forgot it wasn't in Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
That's the Mario Kart one. Bluefin Depot. That was it, Oshamon. Thank
Okay.
you. Because
I
that
was
was.
holding my breath. I so badly, like the moment you said, what about maps that we hope to return? I wanted to cut in bad and say Bluefin Depot. Give me back Bluefin Depot.
There you
instantly.
go.
I was a nightmare to people playing hide and seek on Bluefin Depot because I had a, well, not exactly out of bounds, but almost out of bounds hiding spot that people would never get me on, and I want that back now.
Aww.
Beautiful.
I love that. And to be fair, hide and seek needs to be an official spin-off game mode. Please make that one happen.
Well, they did say that for League, the reason that it's not in the game yet is because they're adding new game modes. So
Yeah, so that.
some people speculate that it'd be like a 2v2v2v2, which would be interesting.
so
But
cool.
imagine they put like mini games in, like laser tag or like, you know, hide and seek,
I know. Gigi and
bumper brushes.
Gigi and Octoboy would be very happy. I can tell you that
Yeah.
right now. But yeah, I just straight up forgot about Urchin Underpass because it was in freaking Mario Kart. yeah, that just shows. And to be fair, some of the ones that we've seen already, like I almost want to say Triggerfish, but then realized no, wait, that's in Splatoon 2 as well. So we had Flounder Heights that wasn't in there. And then freaking everything else is there as well. So it's very much sort of like picking which ones are left from Splatoon 1 and then going from there. It's yeah, Salt Spray Rig is another one that we have. But to be fair, we had all of the Salt Spray Rig talk happen when we got freaking Skipper Pavalon. Because a lot of people compared that to Pavalon.
I
when
feel
that
like it's
came out.
a better salt spray.
Yeah,
Personally.
I would say that too, honestly. Like, I enjoyed playing Skipper more than I did playing Salt Spray, because the rig is... The thing is with the rig, it's a big map, but every area imaginable on that map is very small. It's very narrow. There's not really much leeway apart from that big main rig area, which if you don't control, you've essentially lost the game. So it's... Yeah, rig was always a very hard one to have a look at. So I can't see them bringing that back unless they do a monumental rework on it. So, but yeah, any other stages from Splatoon 2 that we think might make a return then? Considering what we've got so far is Art Academy, Shipyard, Makamot, and Wahoo.
I mean, I'm a camp enthusiast, but I know that's a very heated topic for a lot of people.
It's felt like I unironically quite enjoyed Kelp Dome.
Yeah,
that's a heated opinion right there. Very
Yeah.
very hot take.
So I know it's a little bit of a maybe beyond lukewarm, but I had a lot of good times playing Kelp Dome. It was one of my favorites. Was the 2-2.
Yeah.
That to be fair, that is 100% fair. And honestly, I think if they did bring Kelp Dome back, people would at least be happy knowing full well that they won't be able to cheese Rainmaker the same way anymore by just running across the grate and yay. Because, well again, we'll talk a bit more about Rainmaker and why we might not see Kelp Dome a little bit later on. But yeah.
To be fair, you can still cheese Clamblitz.
This is true. This is very true. Clamblitz has not changed in the midst of all of that.
We'll
so
see.
We'll see.
I'm a big fan of Black Belly Skate Park. I do like that stage.
Yeah.
I like Black Belly for multiple different reasons. Like, I like it for Splat Zones because it's just absolute shit show every time. And yeah, I like Black Belly. I think a lot of people have mixed feelings about Black Belly, but even with tower control, it's quite interesting to play and see how people play Black Belly Skate Park. But yeah, I'd like to see that one come back. And then I think we mentioned a little bit about Flounder, but yeah, I'd like to see those two come back for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. That is 100% fair. I think one of these Splatoon 2 stages that I feel like might come back, based on the theme and everything else that we're getting, I would not be surprised if main stage reappears just because of the fact, the idols and everyone else. And main stage just seem to have a fair amount of love for that kind of thing. But in terms of other things from Splatoon 2, I do not want to see Snapper ever again. Oh, I have had so many infuriating moments on Snapper Canal, and I will be very happy to not see it ever again.
do most of them involve accidentally rolling off into one of the tiny little bits of water?
Thankfully,
just
not
the right
for me.
Place.
Thankfully,
to
not
roll
for
into
me. I have always had a good laugh seeing people do that to themselves, but I very rarely do that, so that is 100% fair. I'll tell you what is a hot take if they decide to bring it back, which would be pretty hilarious if they do. Shellendorf Institute, anyway. To be fair, it's better now than what it was when it started, so...
Correct.
Yes.
I think for me that's a lukewarm take. Like
Yeah.
I'd be okay if they brought it back.
Yeah.
Because there are worse maps that they could bring back Arowana, and that would be miserable. But
I've only just realized something. There's a map that, on one hand, I would like them to bring back because I liked it for a variety of reasons. There's not slight bias. And then the other hand of me is like, wait, if they bring this back, I'm going to have problems. Because if they bring back New Albacore Hotel, we have Mahi Mahi Resort. Please don't pit two hotels against each other. Please don't do that to me.
Sounds like capitalism to me.
Ah. Hey, Kamiko is not sponsored by Mahi Mahi Resort in any way, shape, or form, and you have no proof. Anyway, so rolling on from new stages, otherwise we'll be gushing about stages all freaking day. We got the wonderful Smash Brothers announcements, where all basic weapons from both games will be available, which was nice of them to just straight up say that, so thank you very much. I look forward to the weapon that we didn't get in Splatoon 2 from Splatoon 1. You fiends. We also got reconfirmation on the stringers, our bow-like weapon, and a new weapon class, Splatanas, which we got a Splatana wiper, which Jay in my chat described as basically a car window wiper. which, yeah, I can now no longer see it as anything other than that. It sends ink. It sends ink flying like a disc horizontally. If it's charged, it goes vertically, and is absolutely devastating up close. So, yay, that's gonna be fun. On top of all of that, we got reconfirmation of our usual specials. So, in terms of the icons and specials that we already know about, we know about the Crab Tank, the Zipcaster, the Triple Inch Strike, the Trizuka, the Killer Whale 5.1, the Big Bubbler, and the Ink Vac. They're all the new specials. I say new specials in quotation marks for the Inkzuka and the Ink Strike, because they technically exist in different forms now. Same goes for the Killer Whale 5.1, because it's now 6 instead of a big one. The new specials, we've got Tacticooler, which is a pop-up fridge with 4 drinks. It's so cute. I love that. That's going to look adorable in competitive play. And it basically buffs you up, so you can swim up faster, do other things a little bit quicker, which is always cool. Wave Breaker, which basically it pops down. It's on the description it says badminton, but it reminds me more of those sort of like toys where you sort of like flick the handle and try to catch the ball in the cup. It reminds me of that. It basically, once it hit, it sends a ripple wave around the area. It marks your location and deals damage to you as well if you do get hit by it, but you can avoid it by jumping over it. So it's a hop, skip, and a jump challenge. You love to see it. And we've got the the Reef Slider, which is a shark. It's an inflatable shark that you ride and you charge in, and it explodes once the ride is over. And that is also incredibly cute, and I expect a HoloLive VTuber to be using that all of the time. Returning specials. Love them or hate them, the missiles are back. Which I didn't think would happen. Alongside the Inkjet, the Inkstorm, the Ultra Stamp, and the Booyah Bomb. So I'm very glad that the specials that they added in towards the end are carrying over. That is very nice of you, Nintendo. Thank you. And once more we're feeling booyah for good measure. The subs that are coming back, from what I can see from the footage, the Torpedo, the Sprinkler, the Splat, Suction Curler Burst, Fizzy Bombs, the Inkwall, the Toxic Mist, which I initially thought was a Disruptor because of how the icon looked, and then realized it was the Toxic Mist, that I should stop thinking that. Ink Mines. And yeah, that's all the subs that we know for sure, other than the Angle Shooter, which we didn't really see much of in this direct, but we know that it exists, which is basically a weird, bouncy point sensor. So, opinions first and foremost on the new weapon classes, specifically the Splatanas. Fans, will you try it out? Will you try and main it?
I mean, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Give
Siren.
it a shot.
I was gonna say, being an ink brush main, looking at the Splatana, I felt like I saw a bit of a familiarity in the way it would probably move. And looking at that, I was just immediately like, I need to try this because I'm not very good with gun weapons due to the fact that I am diagnosed with dyspraxia. So basically, TLDR, hand-eye coordination scuffed. So any weapon that isn't relying too hard on hand-eye coordination, I definitely want to grip on it. So I definitely want to try the Splatana, especially for the meme of how everybody so badly wanted a sort of sword/knife weapon in the game, and it just feels menacing. I want to try it very badly.
I expect backstabbing Amogus memes very, very soon.
I think with the Splatana, it's gonna be, well, for me anyway. I feel like I'll probably make a loadout for the Splatana, because you can make obviously like set loadouts now,
Yeah.
little profiles. So I think it'd be interesting to see what you can do to buff the Splatana in terms of if you can make the range longer when you smack it down.
Ooh.
In the direct, it looked like that. The player kind of went up to the other player and did like a 1-2-3, and that kind of splatted
Yeah.
them. Is there a way to make that perhaps faster or more powerful? And then on top of that, if you're playing something like a mode, like say Rainmaker, if somebody else or your teammate has kind of got the fridge and pops down a fridge and everyone gets run speed boosts, what's that going to make? Is it going to be like maybe 3 Splatanas like surrounding your teammate holding the Rainmaker, and you can just splat? Do you know what I mean? Like, so you got to think on that kind of perspective, like just surrounding them and just not letting anybody get in, and just keep moving forward because you've got that run speed, and they can just use the Rainmaker as an attack. But then anyone trying to get close, just a slice, and they're just taken out.
Oh god.
So, yeah, Splatana's going to be an interesting weapon. Would it be great in every mode? I doubt it.
Yeah, agreed.
It will be good, I think, especially for competitive players who are looking to, again, something like Rainmaker, perhaps the person who's on the tower, taking control of the tower, kind of just fending off people trying to swim up to the tower, etc., etc.
That's actually a really good point, considering the fact that a lot of the times when you're 1v1ing on a tower, you're essentially just running around, whereas if you've got the Splatana, you're covering a lot of immediate range right in front of you, and that's going to be a pain to deal with on a tower.
And again, as well, with the Splatana, what's going to be the sub power matchup? Like, are you going to have a Splat Bomb? Are you going to have an Inkzuka? Like, what's going to be the matchup with a Splatana to kind of balance it? So that's where I think where people will make a decision on how to use it and where to use it. So
yeah,
overall, I definitely will give it a shot for sure.
Because I imagine subs like the angle shooter and not the angle shooter. Angle shooter is a sub. The subs like the angle shooter and the torpedo would probably be very beneficial for that, because they are essentially ping out where your opponent is, and that allows you to then try to get into position to then go for that slicey dice. So yeah, that would be, I would not be surprised if that sub ends up on that weapon at some point, because again, we know of the class, but we haven't seen anything outside of that one version of it yet. So as with everything else, we're going to see if we're going to get shorter range ones, longer range ones, etc, etc, etc.
Kensa Splatana, let's go.
Oh god. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the black and white variants of everything has been very popular and very meta-based. In terms of some of the combos that we would like to see for some of the weapons in this game, since we now know that all of the weapons will be coming on in, and we also know that a lot of the specials are coming back on over. Like we said, the missile's coming back, the Ink Storm is coming back, which I think is a very interesting choice, that it's the Ink Storm that's coming back out of everything. Does it mean that we might see stuff like the Tri-Slash and Nova have completely different setups and not keep the stuff that was in Splatoon 2, like the Splat Grenade, the Ink Storm combo, which was already a solid enough combo for it? Or do we feel like that every single weapon is going to have a brand new combination? Because we've seen it already with the NZAP. The NZAP had the fridge, the tentacle already, and with a slightly different sub-weapon. So it's already making its impact known. So what kind of combos do we think would be very cool to see on certain weapons? I mean, we've already mentioned the Splatanas, but any other weapons that we think?
I'm curious, because the point sensor hasn't been confirmed to be, not I've noticed, to be coming back yet, but it's not being confirmed. So if we do end up seeing the point sensor again in Splatoon 3, how will that affect some of the weapon combinations, because we've got the new special of the Wavebreaker, which has sort of a similar ability to the point sensor, that it pings where people are. Will it be a choice of, if they're both in the game, will you be picking, will you be able to, like, I can pick this weapon combination and have effectively a point sensor on this weapon on my special, or a point sensor on my sub?
I mean, because to be fair, the point sensor variant now exists as an angle shooter, I think, at this stage, which is the thing that
Yeah.
it pigs off and hits from, which is a much more awkward point sensor. There you go. I will get back into the habit of saying that again. So I could definitely see where you're coming from on that one. And honestly, I'm not entirely sure if I would recommend having a point sensor paired up with the with stuff like that, because you're already trying to gain information via one of those two. You wouldn't want them both to be doing the same thing, because it kind of ruins the point about that, because you want to have at least one of your subs or your specials do damage if you wanted to try and get intelligence with your sub or your special. You don't want to always be the one gathering intel. But I definitely see where you're coming from on that.
Here's a good one. I think everyone's probably going to disagree with me or laugh at me for saying this. I think stringers, right?
The bows, yeah.
A stringer with, everyone calls it an auto bomb, but I call them chickens.
The
They are chickens.
Yes.
Some people
they
call
are
them
chickens.
some people call them chickens. Some people call them doggos. It's absolutely fine.
Because with the stringer is purely, I think, obviously designed for the long range, kind of stand back, take people out from afar kind of vibe. But then you've got the chickens to kind of go in and sort of like chase them, so you keep them under pressure. They can't just hide round corners and take you out from afar. I think it would be really interesting to see a stringer kind of like laying it down from a distance, but then sending in like an auto bomb to just kind of like keep them at bay, so they're just constantly having to move. So I think, and imagine if they did something where like your sub power is you can throw multiple chickens, not just one. So you could send at least like 4 of them and they just go and they just chase somebody down and just splat them. I think that would be quite fun. Silly but fun.
Let's not bring back the Splat Junior ink tank beam, shall we? Because that would be. I remember that being a thing where people were just like, yes, you could throw 2 chimkins, activate your special, then throw another 2 for commission. I'm like, stop it. No, don't do this. You've essentially given the junior 2 specials. Which, to be fair, it's a valid way of doing things. And honestly, I would agree with that, Nims. I feel like the stringers being given stuff that can help them recon, especially like that, even if they don't get the splat via the actual bomb itself, the fact that they are then forcing the opponents out of hiding, that puts that additional pressure on. So I could 100% see that being a combination to work around with. Mel?
So hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out.
All right.
A Squiffer with a Zipcaster.
Ooh.
Oh, that's quite lethal.
Oh, that's actually, yeah, okay, because I enjoyed the Squiffer. I have enjoyed playing with the Squiffers in Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. And with Splatoon 2's additional charge, I've been like, okay, this is kind of cool, but I feel like it's still needing a little extra oomph. I think that would 100% do it. Because, again, you're curving it around. If you hit them, brilliant. If you don't hit them, but you definitely know that they are in that vicinity, you've essentially narrowed down where they could be. And again, with the Squiffer being kind of more close range than all of the other charges, it would benefit it quite nicely. Yeah, I can see that one as well.
Honestly, it's just for the clips.
Oh, I see how it is. Thinking of all the content you could do. I see.
Content comes first.
Yeah.
Above all.
I mean, to be fair, when I watch people like GG and Octo and Watsiam just do meme stuff all over again, and then realize that Watsiam is also still a really good pro player as well, it's like, yeah, they like to meme, but they'll get serious when needs be as well. So it's yeah, you gotta always love that. So moving on in from the did you have one, Simon? Go for it.
I did. Now I know that what I'm gonna suggest is definitely gonna be copium, because what I wish for is not going to be exact, but I'm still gonna hype this up, and I'm going to paint for everybody a picture. Think back to Splatoon 1. You're playing on Salt Spray Rig. On the enemy team, there is a very scary ink brush that has a very annoying tactic of knowing exactly where to put all the sprinklers to farm as much ink as possible. And every 10 to 20 seconds, you're constantly seeing the most terrifying ink strikes blasting in quick succession. Now bring that to Splatoon 3. but
Oh
make
my-
it 3 ink strikes.
Oh my god.
I want my ink brush to have its sprinkler and ink strike combo back. I want that so bad. I
Oh,
know it's not gonna
God.
happen. And if they're gonna give me anything, it's gonna be either the sub or the special. That's probably the most it'll give me. But if I can have that full combo back, I am ready to be terrifying because I miss that kit so bad. It worked so well, and oh, if I can have that, I'm gonna be the happiest person in the world, and nobody's gonna hear the end of it.
In all fairness, I did like that from Splatoon 1 because I think what other weapon had sprinklers? I think Dynamo also had sprinklers as well. So you had both ends of the stick. You could be very quick and nimble, go up close, charge your specials up with sprinklers because that's exactly what they're designed to do, and then fire off big strikes. And then you had the Dynamo where it's like, okay, we could take our time with this, but the sprinkler will help charge it up whilst we are rolling on into the fray. So you had it from both ends of the field. If that combo came back for the Ink Brush in Splatoon 3, first and foremost, that would indeed be horrifying because Jesus, they lowered the charge for the Ink Brush on what was a regular base. They kept dropping it down bit by bit by bit. So it's like, you slap a sprinkler onto that, you essentially buffing that to the point that the Tri-Slosher got buffed out when it debuted on Splatoon 2. I don't think any of us want to go through that again. But also at the same time, knowing the devs that they pulled that, I would not be surprised if they pulled that again a second time. So we will see. If it goes on the Octobrush, that's a fair substitute as well, because the Octobrush still packs the punch. But yeah, if they do that, my word, we know who to blame, and it'll be Starlit Siren. Right, so we move onwards. We move onwards to some more slight changes that we've been having. So Ammonite is back, same name, same person running it. Hello, Sheldon. We love to skip you. Instead of using not guild, I've played too much Final Fantasy 14. With your currency, shut up.
Exclusive, wildly acclaimed game.
Stop! No, stop it! Stop. No, don't bring this down to me again. And Puppy, don't you even remotely clip. I will tell you off immediately. Instead of using your gold to buy the weapons, you now use Sheldon licenses, which you are earned by leveling up and using the same weapon on a regular basis. It's got a 5-star system on it and everything, so it's very, very interesting and kind of cool. 1 license equals 1 unlock. However, it does still keep the same thing from the previous 2 games of you can only unlock certain weapons once you are at a specific level. So the level cap is still there. However, you can skip that level cap by 2 ways. Number 1, exchanging 3 of the Sheldon license for a weapon. Or, as we found out via the website, because they didn't mention this in the direct, you can skip it by using a gold license, which you get 3 of if you transfer your save data. Well, I say transfer your save data. If you have registered save data from Splatoon 2 on your Switch, you get a couple of other perks, which we will talk about a little bit later. But yeah, you get 3 gold licenses to pretty much just unlock a weapon, regardless of how high-end the level is, which is very nice. Fans of this decision?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's like you have a main weapon that you want to use. Cool. You've been playing this game before. All right, unlock it from the get-go and go do your thing, which is quite nice to do. And for new people who are just getting into it, you know, they can start building in slowly and surely and find their way through. And if they watch a player play a specific weapon that they want to give a try, then they've got the licenses to at least be able to start saving up with. So, yeah, I also am a fan of that decision as well. So, very happy.
I think
with that.
it just gives each weapon a bit more of a value.
Yeah.
I think it enables you to spend a little bit more time playing with that specific weapon, you know, and I think in terms of like people that like to grind their weapons up to a high level, and kind of it just gives, I think, every type of weapon that you might go for a good chance to kind of play through and for you to adapt to, and then be able to kind of optionally opt for something where you can change into something that you can only get at higher levels. And I think it just gives more scope and more widespread variety to you to kind of check out and play the different weapons.
Yeah. I 100% agree. And the best part is that it means that you have more gold to spend on the most important things in life. Fashion! Because we've got the same old shops, but once again, just like in with Splatoon 2, we have new people involved for all of them. We've got Not Couture, which is the headgear shop that has Gnarly Eddie with nails. We've got...
My son.
Melina already claiming them immediately. We love to see it. Man O Wardrobe is the clothing shop that is run by Jean Lafleur, who continues to have their dialogue be interesting, just like with the previous two games. So I'm glad to see that they know they're running themes. And the Crustacean, which is the shoe shop, that is run by Mr. Coco.
Love him.
He's big. I love the announcers. It's like, he's a cool guy. Probably.
I love when you buy like when you buy shoes, his eyes get sparkly and he gets really excited.
I know.
So cute.
He's gonna be so cute. He's gonna give me massive Scorpio vibes from Shiro. Just like big, bulking, potentially threatening, gives good hugs. Is a very good person. So
Love
like
that.
that kind of vibes. And then we got to see not a new character, but a grown-up character, a grown-up Merch, which was very cool to see. Merch continues to do their entire thing. Ability chunks have returned, so we'll have the chunks to deal with again. We'll probably get those via Salmon Run, more than likely. The order status still is on effect, so you can probably still order the gear from Squids and Octolings in the game. You can boost your star power for a weapon, which I would like to see how that works and what we will need to do that with. I am hoping it's not locked behind snails, but we'll soon find out. The scrub slots is still there, the add abilities is still there, the reroll slots is still there, and of course the Splatnet orders is still there, which again was mentioned a little bit later into the direct. So in terms of the wonderful beans in the shops, everybody's already pretty much agreed that they like how Mr. Coco looks. What about everyone else?
I think all of them look really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. They look
I'm
great.
always pretty satisfied with the designs of like the shopkeepers.
Yeah.
I
They
think
all
the
look-
only thing I'm not satisfied is that they named the staff. Like they're the NPCs and they're just named staff. Like, I don't know, like name them John or like Jack or something, you know? Like give him some name, but just staff, all right.
Unfortunate.
Okay.
And to be
I kind of agree with that. I hadn't noticed that before, but now that you said it, I'm like, that's so true.
I think for me, like, I remember when I first laid eyes on Splatoon 1 and we got to know the characters, and then we got introduced at the shop, and I'm just like, Annie. Annie's just, I love her so much, the runner of the headgear shop, who then took over did online orders for the Splatoon app, so... I loved her. I missed her. Puppy won some prizes with that art of her. I still love that to this day. Going forward onto that, we then got to see some of the abilities again. So, returning abilities from what I can see: special power up, quick respawn, tenacity is back, special charge up, run speed up, quick super jump, ink saver, main sub saver, haunt, swim speed up, respawn punisher, special saver, ink recovery up, sub power up, and ink resistance up, with new abilities coming in. Intensify action, which improves the surge and roll actions, and then sub resistance up, which I think is new, because I don't remember that from Splatoon 2. I remember a hybrid between like sub defense and cold blooded, and now it's just called sub resistance up, which essentially reduces effects and damage from sub weapons, which I don't think it had that title before. So we got that on top of all of that, and then, as Nims mentioned earlier, and to be fair, when I did see this on the direct, I did literally say, sweet, they've finally got glamour plates from Final Fantasy XIV. There, they've got fits. You have 5 tabs to save weapons, gear, and your settings which I can't begin to tell you is a very cool thing.
That was massively shocked to me when it kind of overlooked for me. And then when I went back and watched it again and I paused and I was like, hold on a minute, you can actually set your controls like to each profile. That's very good.
That is very cool because you won't want to use the same settings across every single weapon type. You most certainly won't be using the same controls for your charger as you would do for, I don't know, a brush. you really wouldn't. So
Not me using +5/+5 on my charger because I'm too lazy to switch it.
you don't have an excuse anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like we're all just heaping praise onto the Fit tab functionality, which is always cool. In terms of the new actions, do we see intensify action being used in competitive? Because I'm not sure. Like, I would have to see how those actions are used respectively before I could pass verdict on whether people will actually try to run intensify action alongside any of the other stuff. What do you think?
I feel like if it's just improving Squid Surge, it might not be so useful because like they've already made the lemaps kind of short.
Yeah.
Like you saw when they brought back Flounder, it's like half the size of a normal Flounder. It's like gentrified Flounder heights, you know? But if it's also improving Squid Roll, I think it might have a lot more use because if it like extends your invincibility frames, or if it like makes it so that you, I guess that would be the only change that I could think of that would make it really, really useful. Because if you ran, say, like a full set of intensify action. Oh wait, it's a main ability, isn't it? Or is it a sub ability? I can't remember.
I think it's a main.
I think it's
Yeah.
a main. I feel
whatever-
like it would be very weird if it was a sub ability and not a main.
But whatever it is, you know, like say the invincibility frames get doubled, then you obviously survive for longer, and it's definitely worth having somewhere on your build.
Same.
It might be. I mean, it might be interesting to. I mean, because obviously in this one now you can create a full, clean set, can't you? Because you can manipulate the big chunk and then obviously the three little ones. If you could put, you know, all four of your abilities as to that one, and then perhaps it would be really good for someone who is quite a speedy player. I mean, if you're looking for someone who can, you know, swim speed will get slightly boosted. If you're jumping, kind of somebody who perhaps is quite a bit more of a faster player, likes the faster fire rate. I know we haven't seen any sort of aerospray weapons yet, but like aerospray players, or perhaps even somebody who, I mean, even somebody who would probably use the dualies, because obviously with the dodge ability, dodging and then jumping straight into swimming away really, really fast. Yeah, I think someone who likes the sort of the fast play, the quick dodging and that kind of thing, that might be quite interesting for them to kind of mess around with and see if that in any way kind of manipulates their ability to play quicker or makes them better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that 100% makes sense. And also, that very much touched on what Taito mentioned earlier, where it's just like the Julies are get more annoying because of the fact that ability now exists. So having intensify action on top of that, if that is indeed going to be the case, yeah, Julies are probably going to want to main that immediately. Thanks for mentioning that, you little owl.
What do we have against Julie players here?
I don't have anything against them.
Also, same. I have enjoyed playing as the Julies. I remember the Julies being the first weapons I properly tried in Splatoon 2, and then I just sort of like went back to the buckets because in the buckets we trust.
And then after the buckets, you discovered the blob blobs, and then realized that was life. B-days for life.
Shockingly enough, I played with the blow lobber and then kind of was just like, this is nice and all, and everybody is using it, and it's all over the place, and because it's all over the place, I'm going back to the Tri-Slusher, thank you very much, and we're still able to do 1v1s. It, again, just depends on how you use the weapon. Yes,
true.
the blow lobber has the range and the bounce ability, but the Tri-Celestial up close is still an absolute fiend if you're behind. So it's very much how you play it. But yeah. So we go into the next section. Lobby has a fresh coat of paint, but still operates the same way, with the usual rotation. So nothing's changed there. It is still. Well, actually, they didn't really say if it was like an hour. I assume it's 2 hours because they mentioned 2 hour period with League later on in. So, ranked is now called Anarchy Series. Solo mode has a win 5 and triumph, lose 3, and you're out kind of feel. It also looks like it's reverted back to Splatoon 1 days of having the grade and a number. So, very interesting to see how all of that plays out. I was sad that my prediction didn't happen. We didn't get a new ranked mode. We still have Zones, Tower, Rainmaker, and Clamets, although Rainmaker now has Checkpoint Podium, so it is technically a rework on Rainmaker, which does stop the more chaotic. So, I say that. It's still a chaotic game mode because it's Rainmaker and it's kind of still free-flowing, but you now actually have a slightly more linear. Anarchy Battle Open can actually be done with solo and not just with friends. And that's just a one battle done and done, so you don't have to go into the series. Something, again, that wasn't mentioned in the directs, but again was on the website. If you have Splatoon 2 data, you unlock Anarchy from the get-go. You start with a higher rate, a higher rank. And you'll be matched with similar skill levels based on your Splatoon 2 rank. So that's going to be fun, and obviously on top of that, private battles have returned, although they look like they operate the same way as well. So, first and foremost, are we happy that it's gone back to the Splatoon 1 categories of you have a rank and a number alongside it? Because I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, I quite like the Splatoon. I really quite enjoyed how Splatoon 2 did it, where I had the ranked mode with the letter rankings, and then the numbers were assigned to League Battle. I quite appreciated having it separately, so I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm just not quite sure. I don't know yet if it's something I enjoy.
That's fair.
I don't feel particularly phased in regards to it. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, because I didn't have too much of an intense mindset regarding Splatoon 2. Like, I was in comp back in Splatoon 1, but I wasn't, like, too intensely in comp, so I don't know if anybody feels like having the number is going to be they feel it's a call out in any way, or if maybe they just simply don't like it from a visual layout standpoint. I don't know. But I don't feel too phased, and I don't know if that opinion that I have is going to end up changing, so I'm very unsure what to think about it.
I feel
I
like
think it's fine.
I understand what you mean, because I feel like the one thing I don't want people to be is toxic and be like, oh, you are this low number on this rank. And it's like, please don't do that. Like, just respect the fact that if people are having a bad day, and you have to remember that bad days happen, it very much comes down to who you get teamed up with and who you go up against. Because there is a very high case of you can have a day where you're like on a really good roll, you get up to like 90 or something, and then suddenly you just have like several losses in the road. You just see that bar shrink all the way back down. And it's like, I was on that seesaw in Splatoon 1 for an eternity, where I would get to the high parts of S and then go all the way back down to the low parts of S. It's like, stop it! I want to go up, please! So I 100% understand exactly what you mean. What about you, Mel?
I like the change because what ended up happening in X rank was that people who were 2700 got placed into lobbies with people who just entered X rank, and obviously like there wasn't a really good way of like separating those players from each other. And then what ends up happening is like, say that 2700 player is placed with three other players who just got into X rank versus four players that are like 2600, right? That 2700 player is gonna lose like 50 points from having bad matchmaking. So just the fact that there are like, I'm just thinking in the terms of like S plus. Like having S plus 0 to S plus 50, you can like kind of divide the rankings a little bit better to kind of match people more appropriately together.
And that was going to be the other side of the coin that I was also going to mention was the fact that it's like on one hand yes, and then on the other hand that as well. So it's yeah, because I also remember like a lot of the times when I was doing my grinds into X, and I was just like, you know what, I'll give X a go, and then realized how overwhelmingly unbalanced the mode was, and kind of like stopped
Yeah.
playing it as a result. So it's very much a nice case to be like, okay, so we now have numbers and hopefully better skill based matchmaking, which will be great. I just don't want to see people being
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah, I understand
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're playing in Splatoon 2 and you're an S plus, you kind of see the same thing because there's just a huge skill gap between players who are S plus 0 and S plus 9, but you're all in the same lobby. So
Yeah.
it gets kind of tough to be able to like climb in that case, especially when you're at the upper level S pluses, but not quite enough to be able to carry like the lower S pluses in a match with you. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm going to ask this question to Nims first. Do we like the Rainmaker changes? Do we think that's going to be a lot better to cast on?
Yes and no.
Ooh.
Because I don't know. There was times where Rainmaker, I think there were some things in Splatoon 2 that I didn't like about it, and there was some things that I thought, okay, it would make no sense for it to be changed. But then you got to remember as well that there's new weapons coming into play, and there's new modes coming into play in terms of boosters,
Yeah.
and new special weapons that are coming into play. So I think I'm gonna definitely be like this is a very Nintendo answer right now. Yes and no. Yes and no. It depends on your play style.
Yeah.
But no, I'm a massive fan of Rainmaker, and like I said earlier, you know, getting that run speed that they showed in the direct from the fridge of cans, I think that's gonna really change the ball game. I think it's gonna really it's gonna make things a lot more intense, and then it's just gonna really encourage those teams that are really competitive teams how to utilize that, and again how that's going to be affected on the different maps as well, because some of the new maps look very, very different, and they look very interesting to play the different modes, be it Rainmaker or Tower Control, you know, or even just simply Turf War. But I think most of me is kind of like, don't try and fix something that isn't broken. But I'm gonna give them a benefit of the doubt and wait until it's out and be like, okay, let me give this a whirl. Let's see everyone play with the Splatanas, and let's see everybody use the different boosters and the different sub weapons, and let's see what it actually does to it. Because you mentioned as well, like at the beginning, where you know, you were thinking that perhaps after sort of the ranked mode or the rank X mode that there'd be something new, but you got to remember also that they very specifically in this direct on multiple occasions said that there was going to be consistent updates for 2 years. So it might be all well and good everybody getting to say S plus or even getting to rank X, and then all of a sudden they go, by the way,
here's a new
mode. It's X+1 star alpha hashtag something.
Featuring
so
Knuckles.
Yeah, literally. So you never know. So I think with this game, we're definitely being slowly fed.
Yeah.
The amount of information. I mean, even from that direct alone, there was so many extra add-ons, but I think we're slowly being fed. Okay, yes, Rainmaker is here, and yes, you're going to be able to do this. And there's a couple of tweaks here and there, but be patient, fans, because we're about to turn everything on its head. Knowing Nintendo.
Yeah, I imagine that. And the reason why I'm holding off an opinion from Mel here is because I want Mel to open up the next category that we're about to talk about, because building up to this, because I feel like this is going to be a thing. So, all right, the first two not so much, but it's the third thing that I definitely want to hear Mel's opinion on. So first and foremost, the test range exists again, but it's an extra waiting area. You get to chill in the test range, and you can join in with friends as well, which is a very cool thing. You just like practice, vibe, ink to your heart's content, and just get yourselves warmed up, which is a very nice thing to do. Ghosts, basically they're online friends who appear as holograms. You can jump into their matches during battles by the looks of it, which is awesome. And you get to form the teams again. You get to chill near the test range. And then the big one that when I saw it, I immediately went, this is a massive boon to the esports community. Battle replays. It will basically recreate the battles. You can fast forward, skip, change players for different perspectives. You basically get to see everything that happened in the match. And for tournaments, because obviously you'll be able to get that from private battles, that's great for esports. And you can also share that button as well. So you can just actively share that around. So, Mel, I assume that this is something that we've been asking for years. And now that it's added, how much do you think this is going to help the scene?
I mean, I guess to start, like, most of the scene is like relatively young. I mean, we're not nearly as young as we were when we started playing Splatoon, right? Like, haha. But especially like because Splatoon caters to a younger audience, because I guess Nintendo just for some reason has that kind of impression on its consumers. I think being able to have these replays will allow people on teams to be able to review scrims, to be able to like review gameplay, to be able to like pinpoint what is going on in a match. So in terms of like improvement, to be able to like go back and be like, hey, I chased this guy down. I really wasn't supposed to do that. My team was coming back. I should have waited at that moment, you know, to be able to like kind of go back and review that time with your teammates. And on top of that, to get coaching for teams to be able to have this perspective, to give it to a coach, and the coach being like, okay, at this point, you guys did this, when you really should have done this. So I guess for coaches, coaches on Metafy, coaches off Metafy, things like that, it's beneficial there. And then to be able to like utilize this feature in tournaments to like for an analysis desk, for commentators to be like, hey, let's take a look at what exactly happened at this point, and then you can actually pull that perspective up. The thing that I'm curious about is when you are playing Splatoon and you're playing against someone thousands of miles away, and you have this like latent like thing that happened. This guy is in front of you, and then he's suddenly not, you know, and you go back and you watch that gameplay. Are you watching it from your perspective, like, or are you watching it from like what they see? So like, you know, are you gonna see them teleport when you go back and watch the replay or not? Basically, is my question.
That's a very good point. I guess we won't know until we find out, because that's gonna make it very interesting. The case of like where you'll have your perspective on stream, and then you'll have the replay, and you'll be like, well, yeah, that's probably what happened if I lagged. So that's gonna be very, very, yeah.
Also, to add to that, what would be really interesting is, because obviously before, you know, if for example we're doing like a PB with two teams, would you then, the spectator who will be the spectator in that lobby, does the spectator then have access to everybody's playbacks, or does the spectator only have access to the specific person that they were focusing on at the time when they get splatted? Or does that, do you know what I mean? That would be really really interesting as well, that if you give the spectator that much power to kind of literally go back and watch, you know, specific moments that happened throughout the entirety of the game and go from different angles. So if, like Mel was just saying, that, you know, somebody gets splatted, can the spectator mode, you know, look at person A's version of it and person B's side of it? So I definitely would like to see that functionality be kind of upgraded from the spectator perspective as well.
Yeah, that is a very good point, actually. I didn't even think about how that would work for spectators. Gosh, that would be an interesting move and a half from Nintendo if they allow spectators to have that replay. That, again, we'll find out when the game drops, and we're not too far away from that, thankfully. So, outside of that, there was one thing that one of my viewers predicted in the direct reaction stream, and one of those was that they wanted to see apartments. They wanted, because we kind of like, we always got teased an apartment from Splatoon 1 where it boots up and you had like the in-game map on load up, but it was of the apartment that the squid was in. It was like, that was a kind of cool thing, and I feel like a lot of us wanted to have our own apartments. We haven't got that, but we got something close to it. We've got a locker room, so You get to customize your own locker room with weapons, gear, items. There'll be some locker rooms from people that you have recently played with. And you can get items from a wonderful brand new shop called Hotlantis, who is run by Harmony. Harmony, for those of you who have no idea who this character is, she's not a brand new character. She is a character who has existed from Splatoon 1. She is part of Chirpy Chips, the bands who have done the hit songs Shellfire and Split and Splat from Splatoon 1, and then Blitzit and Wave Prism from Splatoon 2, if I remember correctly. Yeah, she runs the shop, quotation marks. The manager is not there, so she decided, sure, I'll just sell things, because why not? Love her. You can get all the splash tags, so banners, badges, titles. You can also get emotes. Yes, you can dab in Splatoon 3. Let's not talk about it. Some of these can not just be obtained from Hotlantis, but a lot of these can also be obtained from seasonal catalogs, which you can buy from the store. And then these special catalogs, well, you know, they're seasonal, so they'll run spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Sorry, autumn is fall for those of you who are not in the UK. Sorry. And they'll have special gear in them as well. And these catalogs will be running for 2 years, if I remember that was being the main thing. So before I ask what your opinion about the items and whatnot is, I actually want to go down the line, starting with Siren. What will your locker be like?
Well, first of all, I know a lot of people are very sad about the fact that it is a locker rather than an apartment, but when I saw it, I had a big smile on my face because, like I said at the beginning, Splatoon is a place where you can truly, like, be full just yourself with self-expression. Of course, obviously, stuff is not gender locked this time, so self-expression in your character customization is to the fullest. But with the locker, you get to take that further, and me being quite the fashion nerd, me squealing over the pun on haute couture with Nautilus and haute couture, I'm definitely gonna be, I know that my locker, I feel like people are gonna know that it's my locker from a mile away because it would be very, very neatly displayed. It would be very perfectly color coordinated in pastel shades, mostly blues, the purples, and stuff of the like. If there is any sort of like, because I know it's not just, you don't just put your shoes or your weapons or your clothes in there. Like, you can get random objects as well, like stuff that looks like boxed plushies, toys, stuff like that. I'm hoping that there's things like string lights that I could have lined up in there. I'm hoping that there's all sorts of things that I could have so that I can have a sort of, I don't know, give it a little bit of a minimalistic, slightly futuristic look. If I can, I might be copium asking for stuff like that, but if I can make it fit my branding's sort of vision to the fullest, that would make me the happiest. Yeah.
I mean, in all fairness, you know, it is a post-apocalyptic game, so, you know, there's probably going to be stuff like that, and we've got 2 years of seasons to run through. There's probably going to be stuff in there, for sure. Mel,
Very
any ideas what your locker might be?
There are two kinds of people in the Splatoon community. There are people like Siren, you know, very, very prim, proper, bright, you know, stylish. And there's people like me who all I want to put in my locker is a fresh fish head.
I love same brain cell, same wavelength right there. Mel.
Me and Taito are the same person. Yeah. There's two types of people in the Splatoon community.
Oh my god. This is going back to that old Splatfest theme, isn't it? Are you organized or are you not organized?
Oh yeah, no. Not me.
God damn it. Nims, please tell me you're somewhat better.
I'm gonna be that person and say that like there's just gonna be too many nice things and I'm gonna want everything. So
Yeah.
I've already thought about this. This is like driving thoughts for me. That I feel like I'm gonna change my locker seasonally. So if it is like a new season, let's say it's autumn, I will put like autumn stuff in the locker because I would want to wear autumn clothes and have autumn things surrounding me. If it's going to be winter, I'm guessing that you'll be able to put up like funky little Christmas ornaments and like New Year ornaments, or like there might be some sort of like, Japanese New Year, or like a special sort of event happening. I'm guessing that there's going to be maybe things like exclusive things you can get when a Splatfest is on. So kind of just to celebrate that, I'm probably going to be that person that will just continuously just keep changing it in terms of like different seasons and like kind of different environments or different times of the year. I think that I like to stay fresh. And just kind of,
I like that your voice changed when you said stay fresh.
You can't say it without doing it. It's the law.
So I'll probably be that person. I'll probably like, all the Kensa stuff might come out and they'll be like, oh my God, my locker is completely black and white, or, Christmas stuff or autumn stuff or summer stuff. Like, I'll probably be that person. I'll probably be continuously changing it.
Hey Nims, we're on the same boat then, which is good. Except mine will probably be with a tinge of, yes, I will change mine with the season, but I will do my best to keep purple as the main theme. It's pretty much how I am, because I'm also with Siren. I know what my theme is, and my theme is chaotic and purple, but I also like to change things as the seasons go around to keep things, well, as... I'm not going to do it again. Nims only just did it. You get the general idea. But yeah. And to be fair, my wife also is very much like that. Like, pretty much when she plays Animal Crossings on a regular basis for season stuff, she will change things around. So I imagine Bobby will probably be doing the same thing as well. So for sure, either that or it's going to be all Dakota, because Puppy likes her bright color fashion. So, and Taito, I don't think I need to ask you, since you already just said you're the same as Belle. But just in case you wanted to add anything onto that.
There's two main types of Splatoon players, as we've established. The ones who don't care about having their fit and look being all like super aesthetic and neat and organized, and then there's me, who my first thought was, how many fish could I fit in the locker?
God.
Jeez. Great. You can see this is going to be wonderful. God damn it. Okay, alright. That's the thing though. As Siren mentioned, that is the beauty about this game, and being able to have locker rooms. You can customize those and people can see those, and they are very much an insight to your character. Like, you can be a memester, you can be fashionable, you can be as open as you want to be. Like, it will probably come off of that aura through the locker room. And I'm very happy to see that system in play, and I swear, the second I see a row of lockers where every single one of them just has a fish head in it, I will look back at this direct and blame Mel and Ty respectively.
You're welcome.
There's definitely going to be like a competitive team out there called Fishhead. You wait.
Yeah, I would not be
100%.
surprised. This is Splatoon.
There will be a Fishhead team. And they'll probably all cosplay as fish heads while they're playing in team tournaments.
God, don't
You know what it
start.
is? There's like a handful of top players who have fresh fish head, power armor, and flippy floppies, and they're gonna take their drip pick and just slap that right in the locker.
Yeah,
Jesus.
more than likely. More than likely. And I then have to ask one final question on this topic, without saying the dab. What emote would you like to see in this game?
The Fortnite dance, the default
Oh,
dance.
fuss it.
Yes.
An upside down OK hand.
That's awesome. Okay, yes. Oh, Bobby says heart hands in the chat. I see that. Yeah, heart hands would be nice.
Oh, that would be cute. I would like the one that's like the very tiny hand heart, where you do it with the index finger and the thumb.
Oh, this
I
one?
would.
This-
Yes.
Oh, those would be cute. Yeah, alright. That would also be very cute. Give us the Nagami 8. Oh my god, every single one of Nagami's poses. Yes. Yes, please. If it's not in the game, I'll be very sad. Somebody's mentioned breakdancing, which, to be fair, they've got the Macarena, so I assume a breakdance would probably come.
Doing the helicopter would be funny though, because all I think of is the current meme of the month, the Sims breakdancing cat.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
love that.
yeah.
I want the Luigi death stare.
I've
just decided.
Yes.
I just thought of that, and I was like, "What do I want? I want the Luigi. Yeah, that's what."
Yeah.
Or like the Donkey Kong like scratch head, where he puts his hands up and shrugs.
Oh, my
you know
Something like
what?
that.
But if it was a Donkey Kong emote, it had to be the one where he does this and he
Yeah, yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of wiggles his head
Yeah, yeah,
around.
Literally, yeah, that's it. That's the shrug shoulder one. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Someone mentioned a permanent version of the X pose, which would be very nice because we got to pick that when we got X rank in Splatoon 2 in the lobby, but we couldn't do that anywhere else. So I feel like having that as a permanent emote would be very nice. Taito, any suggestions? Any thoughts?
I kind of just want to style on people and shuffle. Can I just shuffle in the middle of a game? Just start throwing down.
That's fair. Oh my god, could you imagine if they allowed emotes in the actual battles? That would be hilarious because if you had a disconnect, everybody would just gather in the middle and just start dancing. It would be great. We'd have a new form of squid party. Yes, the meta is ever evolving.
I have one more tiny comment. Something that I hope is that they're going to take a little page out of Ninjala's books and make it so that you can alter the emote for whether you win or lose, and that there isn't a lock between what is considered a winning emote or a losing emote, because having very funny defeat like emotes as your winning emote and then winning emotes as your defeat emote is the funniest because I know you didn't want us to mention it, but I want to dab to hide my tears.
Our team lost. Let's go. sorry, I couldn't resist that one. But that is also 100% fair. I know you can pick your own victory emotes, but we don't know about defeat emotes, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right, next one up on the agenda. This is going to be a very quick breeze on through. They mentioned the Table Turf Battle Dojo. It's a turf war in a 1v1 card game format where you can collect over 150 cards and you are gifted a starter deck at the start, which I assume you'll be able to play against CPU and players alike. Now, I know not everybody is a fan of card games. I totally understand that. But honestly, as somebody who does like tabletop games, and I have a big old stack of them, and I'm very partial to them. And in fact, at one point, I did try to create my own tabletop games, but unfortunately, I wasn't really able to get anybody to play them, which is sad. What are your opinions about the card game, and would you spend some time with it?
I'm going to open this one up, and I'm just going to say it straight, because I know everyone's thinking it. This is literally just Nintendo's way of reminding us, hey, you are playing a Japanese game, so we're going to put more Japanese things in this game. You're going to play a Japanese card game. Enjoy.
That's fair.
We don't want to give you Squid Jump because nobody liked Squid Jump on the Wii U gamepad, did they? No, nobody liked that game. Let's give you a traditional, really intense Japanese-style card game. Thanks, Nintendo.
Fair.
I'm not saying it in a bad way. I actually love the art style. I think it looks beautiful. I love the art style of the cards. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how competitive people get with it. Or is it going to deter people a lot away from the main game? And are we going to see like solid streams of just the card game?
That would be funny.
Competitively playing
That
it?
would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Good idea.
That's
Just
literally...
just because you said that, Nims, I'm putting a $200 prize pool for a tabletop tournament.
Yes, I'll cast it. I'll commentate on it. I'll help you.
I'm trademarking it. No, it was my idea. I'm trademarking it.
Oh my god.
But I think it looks really cool. Like, to be honest, when I first looked at it, I was like, Tetris card game, huh? But yeah, it's an interesting take. Again, art style is bloody awesome. But are Splatoon fans gonna really pick it up? And are Splatoon fans gonna, want to play this more than the main, obviously the main base game? Or is it gonna be a thing where, like I said, are people is Layla gonna like add a separate stream on a Wednesday where she just plays the card game? It's gonna be interesting to see how people take to it and how in depth it goes. Or is it just like a fun little side game that you can play from time to time, like Squid Jump?
I like how you singled me out, and it wasn't me who mentioned the idea. That was Mel. Like, come on now. That made me bring My Memory Wednesday back just to troll everyone with the card game. Come on now.
No, on a Wednesday, everybody trains at Layla's, and then Mel does the 200 prize pool every Friday, guys.
Oh,
She's
Every
gonna give away
Friday, using
$200.
my teacher paycheck for this
Absolutely.
this prize pool. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
God.
And then not only Mel, someone from your class will actually win the $200 prize pool as well, like one of your students.
Maybe.
God.
I think I'm on the other side of you though, Nims. I'm like I'm super excited for the card game. Like,
Okay.
if there were in-game purchases, catch me buying all of the cards. Like,
Yeah, same. Same.
I just it looks so fun. Like it looks like a turf war that I'd enjoy playing.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Oh my
you
God.
said it. Why would you say something so controversial and yet so true? Yes.
We love Turf War.
Now you can love it in card game form. Yeah. Anyway, Siren, I think you're bouncing in glee. Are you with us? Are you with me and Mel, or are you with Nims?
My personal opinion, and I feel like what I'm about to say is going to go right for the jugular in this game.
Uh-oh.
What I'm it might be a little bit brutal, but I say it in light-hearted jest. In regards to the graphics of what the actual venue for these games look like, of course, there is a chance that I might eat my words once the final game comes out, and if I eat my words, I will eat them happily. But 1v1 me on the low-res table in the poorly rendered grassy backyard venue that is where the whole thing is held, because the graphics could be better. They could be better, but I will probably at least give it a shot.
To be fair, it is very much an open yard kind of area, so there isn't really much anything there at all. So I understand what you're saying.
And I guess, unlike other card games, we don't have a Seto Kaiba to create a cool fantasy hologram system for playing card games in Splatoon.
Oh my god.
See what I mean? You just proved there that this is a Japanese game. Because you went there. Do you see? That's what Nintendo does to you. It makes you start to think about things like that. So
Though I was just spending too long with a bunch of the UK's larger Yu-Gi-Oh!
That is fair. Although now that you've mentioned that, I could theoretically. Oh my god! I now have in my head a Yu-Gi-Oh version of Splatoon where they're doing the card game, and you've got Squint and Octolink just acting out the turf war behind them.
Well, if there could be a Magic the Gathering manga, which is better than the Yu-Gi-Oh manga, Fight Me, I Would Die on This Hill, then someone's probably going to make a comic in the style of a manga.
I would
of
not
the Splatoon
be.
card game.
I would not be surprised. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. Right, moving on. We didn't get a brief mention. We actually got a bit more information about Salmon Run. First and foremost, Mr. Grizz is back. Good old Mr. Grizz. We got 2 new bosses showed off. We got Slamming Lid, which is a UFO. It protects the salmonids who are below them, but if you go below them, it will just immediately crush you. And then the next boss fires shockwave bombs at you. If you're wanted to know why I have not said their name, it's because of the fact that I really don't want to make a Deltarune reference.
Well, are you a big shot, though?
God damn it, Tyler! No! Yes, it is. I love the fact that they called it Big Shot, and the second I thought that in my head, I'm like, someone's gonna meme that, and someone memed it very, very quickly, so I'm not surprised. We also got a proper showcase at the King Salmonids. Specifically, we got one called Kohozuna. Appears just before the job is finished, aka after the third and, quote, final wave. You will have an egg cannon where you can fire golden eggs, which I assume you pick up said golden eggs from mobs that you are still beating, and then you use that to fire on in. And it has a really big health bar as well, so it's its own respective time limit and health bar, which is very cool. On top of that, we have a, quote, new mode called The Big Run, where salmonids invade the city. which I will say this right now, that is amazing. I have been hoping for something like that for a while, so to see it actually play out is great. Essentially, it floods part of the map as well, which is also very cool. And it apparently will happen every few months, so it's a spectacle. It's a big time spectacle event, and I'm very much excited to see that. So, does this make Salmon Run more of an option for you all to play? And if so, will you join me in throwing hands if they even so much as look at Flood and Mahi Mahi Resort?
Yes and yes.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Dims.
I will be grinding to professional as quickly as I can. I adore Salmon Run. It's my favorite game.
It's the best.
To
I
be
love
fair, it is a lot of
Very
fun.
fun.
Yeah, I am. Oh my god, I'm very much looking forward to it. What about you, Siren?
I'm just the thing that tickles me so much about the mode of all the salmonids being in the city is that it's treated as this sort of like, oh, you know, it's just the monthly zombie apocalypse. It just happens every now and again. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. It tickles me so bad, and just I'm very excited to see what would come of it. What would be an incentive to play it more and stuff like that, because I know that Salmon Run was quite fun when I was playing it. I'm not like, because I know that there are like some intense Salmon Run enthusiasts that will literally play Splatoon just for Salmon Run.
Yeah.
I wasn't that intense, but it would be very fun to give it a try, see what I can personally get out of it for myself. And monthly zombie apocalypse, let's go.
To be fair, I feel like because of the fact that it's going to be like more of a special event than the normal stages, they will probably have like special things to get from that, I would assume, because there's no sense that you would make a big deal out of it if you weren't going to get special things out of that. So yeah, I 100% agree. But yes, I feel like four of us will be going into it, and Simon will be like, "Yeah, get him." Just waving the banner in the background for us. I don't mind that. That's going to be fun. I'm very much looking forward to it. I did get tired of Salmon Run towards the end, but there will be something that I will hope that they bring back as well, and that is the forbidden weapons. Because, my god, we want more versions. Oh my god, could you imagine a Grisco version of the Splatana? Oh my god, that would be hilarity. That would either be incredibly quick, or one-shots everything, or a combination of the two. And that is going to be devastation. Oh
Say
my
a
god.
Grisco Splatana. So like a Splatana, when it swings very straightforward. A Grisco Splatana is probably like more of an arc. So like it does the whole swing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be so cool. Oh god, what would a Grisco stringer be? The bow one be like?
Shoots a lot of arrows.
Oh my god.
It would be a bear's head with a fish out of its mouth, and the fish is like kind of in an arch, so that's kind of the bow part of it, and you fire from the bear's mouth, if that makes sense.
I guess that kind
It
of
would be
makes sense.
3 bears' mouths, so it'd be like a Cerberus, but bear. Cerber. I just thought that on the spot.
Simon, no!
That's the end of the interview. Thank you, guys.
God damn it. The worst part is I could probably see that being a thing. God damn it. Because again, we know Splatoon is known for puns, so that, oh my god, that would not surprise me.
It would be absolutely unbearable.
Oh, Taito, you didn't have to double down.
Let's go.
All right, are we move? Yes, we are moving on. I'm the host. I am choosing to dictate this pace, and we are moving on. I am so sorry, Chad, that you had to bear with us for that moment. Right, we are going. Sorry, we are going into the very brief mention. Stop being disappointed about me, Nims. We're going into a brief mention of the single-player mode called Return of the Mammalians. The Octarian story mode, we didn't really get much info on it this time around, just more snippets and brief gameplay footage, more confirmation that we'll be using our small fry buddy to pretty much use with the challenges. So, puppy, shut up, I am not reading your message, because that's also a pun. You goddamn memester. I like the fact that it specified two things. First and foremost, that it's for that new players are recommended, so it'll be like the previous two story modes, where it'll be like a bit more of a tutorial kind of feeling. But it's also rating it as the epic finale of the saga, which means that this is going to be the last of the. This will basically seal up the trilogy storyline that started from Splatoon 1. So since we can only speculate on so much, given from what we've seen, are we all hopefully in unison that DJ Octavio will not be the final boss this time round?
Yes.
Because
Please.
let me be real here. The fight in Splatoon 1, perfect, epic, great, grandiose, and just everything clicked so well. The second fight, the music was great, but it wasn't the Splatoon 1 fight, and we were hoping for something that wasn't just DJ Octavio. We surely have something different now, but the question is, what the heck is it going to be?
I'm just going to open up this one and immediately feel, because there was so many things that we saw in the level design that really gives off Octo expansion vibes, so something tells me that they're probably going to expand further on just, even if it's just a reference, just more on Kamaboko. I feel that is definitely what I want to see, though part of me feels like they're just going to push that to the DLC, because there was a hint of DLC story with a silhouette of Off the Hook, so I have a feeling they're going to shove any further Kamaboko lore into there, maybe not, but I feel like I want to know more about just Kamaboko stuff in the storyline, and to just in general a new boss enemy. Don't let it be DJ Octavio, because at that point we're all just gonna see him and be like, oh, look at it, it's all DJ Octavio back to his old tricks again. Get me out of here. That's what it'll feel like.
Oh, someone's actually made a good mention. Putting him as the first boss would be funny. That would actually, that would be a very good subversion, because you'd be like, oh, it's Octavio as the first boss. Okay, yeah, you have nothing to do with this then. Cool. Like, you're being a menace, we're going to kick your butt because we kicked it so many times, and then it's going to be like, okay, here's the actual threat. So, that would probably, oh god, again, why does that sound like a very plausible thing? God damn it.
I'm gonna be that person and go way out there and say plot twist. It's Pearl and Marina. They're the final bosses. Because in this they made it very apparent to show us the Squid Sisters.
But not
why didn't they show Pearl and Marina?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, they did announce at the very end that there's going to be DLC with Pearl and Marina, so maybe that's why they're not like so.
But
centered around.
Yeah, but at the same time, I also know where Nims is coming from, because who was with Pearl and Marina? Well, obviously Agent 8, but also Cat and Cuttlefish, and Cuttlefish is back. So why do we not have Off the Hook? As you mentioned, that they may be saved for the DLC. But I wouldn't be surprised if somehow they are involved in this, but I'm going to speculate a little bit further on that a little bit later, because I have an idea with that as well. Going on from there, we then get a variety of things that are, nice, usual cooldown kind of things, where they're essentially bringing things back from the previous games that, are part of the parcel for the main games. In a nutshell, mailbox is back. You can draw vertically now, along with horizontally, which is always nice. The concession stand is back with food and drinks. The shoulder's back, so local play. Yay, lands. Woohoo. Photo mode is incorporated. You can do selfies, and you can actually have those selfies go into the locker itself, which, again, is... if anybody doesn't know all those big selfie stations where you can put stickers and whatnot over in Japan with... essentially think of it like that, as that should be a lot of fun as well, and it'll be very nice to decorate your lockers with that. For the first time in what feels like an eternity, we will no longer have to wait for a stage to come up on rotation to recon it and practice on it, because we now have an actual bona fide recon guide, so you can go into any stage to recon, full stop, and that is very nice to have that. So Splatnet 3 is going to be the sequel to the Splatoon app. Basically will function exactly like the Splatoon 2 app, so shrug. the amiibo will be functionality in this. You will be able to take your Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 amiibos and utilize them, which will be very nice. And you get the same kind of thing with special gear. You can save your outfits to them like you could previously. And you can obviously take photos with them as well. And I'm very sorry to everybody's wallets, but new series of amiibo are coming. Yes.
I guess I'll
Unfortunately.
just have to claim it as a tax deductible.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, Kaido's got it.
Yeah, Tino knows exactly what we're all thinking. This is a business purchase. Thank you very much. So yeah, I feel like money was standing. We're probably all going to buy the amiibo. But yeah, and it's nice to have the recon guide. Like, believe me when I tell you this, the amount of times that a new stage is dropped, and you know, when you have it on the rotation when it's a brand new stage, it's quite nice. But then also you got that wonderful thing of can't really test everything at the same time because it might be on turf war, but it won't be on ranked, and then you kind of miss it, and you have to wait for it to come back up again, and it's like you can only do so many scrims before you're like, I need to just be on the stage and get used to it and walk around. Now that we actually have that, that's gonna be so much more helpful. It's like you won't have to stress about having to wait for other players to join you in practicing the stage. You can now actually recon the area beforehand. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think like one of the shortcomings of Splatoon 2 is every time I wanted to like show something about a map, I couldn't do anything about it. I had to jump into a PB with someone to be
Yeah.
able to like go to the map, right? So I like it. I don't know how necessary the hour-long timer is for the recon, but I guess longer is better than shorter, right?
Yeah, I agree with that as well. It allows you to test things as well. So it's like, right, we are almost towards the end, would you believe it? We're nearing the end of the direct. So we got post-launch updates that are in this category. This is probably going to be the penultimate things that we talk about here. So as we have been alluding to, major paid DLC will be coming. That will be, well, the silhouettes is off the hook, so I will let you all know what my speculation theories are going to be with that. X Battle and League Battles will be added a little bit later on. Those will also be, well, the League Battles will also be into 2-hour systems. We'll see if they operate the exact same as the League Battles in Splatoon 2. And we will have new weapons that will debut with each catalog, which is a very nice distinction that they've done with that. So when the next season catalog comes out, we'll have new weapons as well. And I assume we might have stages on the same rotation. Now, what I will ask then is maybe for potential theories on this, because my theory with the DLC is that it will either be one of two things. It will either be a continuation from the Octo expansion, or it could be an epilogue to tidy up any additional ends to see how Off the Hook fuse in with the main story, or potentially set up a brand new story arc for a later edition or for another DLC. Those are my two speculations. What about you? Do you agree or disagree?
I think I'm kind of hopium about that last one because I think having an extension into another DLC means that there's more content, means that there's more to play, means that we enjoy Splatoon for a longer lifespan. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I mentioned it.
I agree. I absolutely agree because I feel like I think you gotta look at it from this kind of perspective as well. Is that, you know, it's interesting that it's very un-Nintendo to do a IP on one console and give it two titles in one console's lifespan.
Yeah.
It's very unusual. I mean, you get it for something like a Mario or something like that, but to do it for something like Splatoon, it's interesting that they've done it in that perspective. So I think encompassing that perspective that Nintendo normally has with things, I think I agree with Mel. I think it will be like yes, we're finishing this arc of the Splatoon world storyline, and we're going to tease you for the next arc, but guess what? It's going to be on a new console.
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
I feel like that's the sort of transition that they're going to make, which will be interesting because, you know, for anyone who is a big Splatoon fan, I mean, I read the manga books as well. The storylines in the books are really interesting as well, where they're kind of going with it. It's definitely more fun. It's more lighthearted. There's some fun storylines in there. The characters have got a lot more character to them in terms of how they kind of bond in the storylines. So I think it's definitely going to go down that route for sure. I think this will be a nice way for them to tie up all the loose ends. Yeah, and just kind of give it this whole end, really strong, solid ending, and then tease a new story, a new chapter, a new world, a new etc. etc.
Siren?
I'm kind of on the same boat of thinking that, because like I said earlier, like I thought that maybe there might be some sort of reference to Kamaboko in the main story, because of the fact that a lot of the stuff that we saw for certain level designs seemed to just jump straight out of Octo expansion. But again, just thinking about the potential that they're probably just going to keep that to DLC, I have a feeling it's going to be something like that. I have a feeling that maybe, hopefully, for the sake of them not shutting down the story with Splatoon 3, maybe they will give some sort of window to new stuff in the future with the storyline. I don't really know what to think about where it could all go, really. I just hope that, like I just said, that it will hopefully leave a window open for some stuff. And something else I'm hoping is that, because we have seen it, maybe since it's being made by relatively almost all the same people as Animal Crossing New Horizons, lots of people have been watching the direct and they've been saying, where's this character gone? Where's that character gone? I mean, I had a moment where I was freaking out saying, where the heck is Spike? I was screaming about it on Twitter and everything. So I'm just hoping that we're going to see characters that have been shoved off to the side a bit. Hopefully we can see them be put back into the spotlight a little bit. I would love to see that, because I just want Spike to have a bigger role again and not just be shoved into obscurity. I don't know. There's a lot of things that could happen. I'm just leaving my mind open to what we could get, but I have a few little hopes. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it, really.
I think that's the same thing that happened. I mean, you could say probably the same thing really with Judd as well, because there wasn't much mention of Judd in this. You kind of just saw him snoozing on a bench in the background. And yeah, I suppose I kind of agree with you there, Siren, that there's probably a way that they're gonna try and incorporate all the characters again. I'm a big fan of Krusty Sean, so yeah, like I think it'll be quite interesting to see where they go with it.
Yeah.
Have we is
I wonder. Here's me going super tinfoil hat. But because this like super beyond any realm of probably sensibility to level of tinfoil hat, because this is the second game on a console, and because you're right, it's not often that Nintendo have two sort of mainline games on the same
Mhm.
console. I
Mhm.
wonder if there might be an opportunity to use future DLC content in a direct as a tease for an upcoming console. If I'm gonna go like really tinfoil hat level, maybe that'll be how they tease it.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them. You know, I always look at all games that Nintendo does with eyes and ears open, always looking at all the different sort of possibilities or the hidden Easter eggs, uh, just anywhere and everywhere, because Nintendo does like to do little surprises, and they do enjoy, like I said, leaving little Easter eggs everywhere. So yeah, I think that's definitely plausible for sure.
Hmm?
I would like to see, like, hope to see another storyline teased at the end of whatever DLC though that comes out, because well, I feel like most of us are probably like the game series to continue in some way, shape, or form after Splatoon 3. So having any type of tease in future content as to what that continuation or story will be, or what that new story might be, will be, well, I'd be hyped for that. I'd be excited.
I'd be very
Mhm.
excited. And with that, there is something else that we are excited about, because we are now onto our final topic.
Okay.
Splatfests. The Splatfests are back, but specifically before we even talk about the Splatfest, we gotta talk about the debuting idols, Shiver, Fry, and Big Man, aka Deep Cut is the trio's name. Also, everybody in Splatlands have sea cucumber phones, which is adorable, and you can watch the news that way, which makes me feel like news announcements are going to be you get to watch it once, and then you can just skip it and watch it on your phone if you really want to, which is very nice. Thank you, Splatoon. You've been listening. The intro stinger for Deep Cut was also showed. It looks and sounds wonderful. I love it so much. And they also debuted their new song with the Splatfest called Rainbow Anarchy, which I have been listening to a lot over this past week. It is more of a bop than I had anticipated, and it's probably one of my favorite Splatfest themes at this stage quite easily. Now, bearing in mind that they didn't specifically announce stuff on the direct, but in every translation so far, through game audio, from descriptions of the characters, Big Man and Fry have been specifically gendered, but in every translation, including French and Spanish, and bearing in mind that is saying something considering France and Spain, Shiver has not been gendered in the slightest. Like, no pronouns have been used on Shiver whatsoever, which makes me think we could actually have a non-binary idol in the form of Shiver with they, them pronouns. And that, bearing in mind again what Shiver mentioned earlier and what I very much mention on a regular basis, that you can be whoever the heck you want and you can customize and be free in Splatoon for LGBTQ plus rep. If that is true, that is massive. And, well, do we like the new idols?
I'm so hyped.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice. I think that it's nice they've gone with the 3 option. I think touching on, like you said, like potentially creating a non-binary character. I think already by having 3 characters is already making a statement in leading towards that. I think, Layla. Like,
Yeah.
I think already they're trying to push towards that direction, that there's something for everyone. Yeah, I think the character designs are awesome. Big Man needs his own amiibo, and Big Man needs his own giant plush, and
my
Big
God.
Man needs to be a costume also in the game.
Why do I get this?
Just basically Big Man everywhere.
Wait, are you saying that, like, oh my god, could you now imagine if we get the equivalent of those giant walking Pikachus, but it's Big Man?
Oh
No,
my
that's
God.
it. Absolutely. If I get to do any sort of official tournaments in the future, I'm saying it from now. Commentary, I will be dressed as Big Man.
Let's go.
How I'm going to hold the microphone will be a different story, but like Big Man.
So you might want to go back and revise your locker contents. It's just Big Man
that's
fan
true.
merch.
Oh my god! God damn it, we've lost Nibs.
No, I agree. If I can get Big Man like themed locker, then I'll be all about it, Mel. Absolutely.
Oh my god.
We love to see it. We stand
Yeah.
Big Man in this chat.
That's it.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Siren?
I am head over heels for the character designs for Deep Cut. It's very I can't remember what the word is for it. It's when stuff isn't really considered the norm. I've forgotten what it is. I've forgotten the name for it.
Diverse.
Unconventional.
Unconventional.
It's very, very, very different. It's very, very cool. I love it a lot. I am very, very massive fan of Shiver. Like the first moment I saw them and I saw like how they've got blue hair that sort of spills on one side, I was just like doing the Leonardo DiCaprio point and whistle from the chair, pointing at like my hairstyle, pointing at Shivers back and forth. I was just like, wait, I vibe with this one so bad. I just love the whole design. I love the whole aesthetic of their newsroom. It's very heavily taking on like sort of traditional Japanese visuals, which I think is very, very cool. And just I love the dynamic that the three have got going on. And yeah, Team Rock all the way, which is going to be a hilarious irony considering Rock versus Pop in Splatoon 1. I was Pop, and even though it's not music based, going Rock this time as my first is a hilarious irony I'm ready to take on, and just Team Shiver all the way.
I will mention the teams in a moment for everybody else to mention on, but any other feedback on who have we not heard anything from idol-wise? Mel and Tight.
I mean, I like all the designs. I think Fry's forehead is really big.
See, I wasn't gonna say it.
Nobody on the
I
internet.
don't think it. I know it. Like we all see it, but I think it's like kind of cute, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like they make it. They made it really prominent for some reason. It's like there's this like huge like glare and shine that like reflects off her forehead. But I think she's still really cute. Like I think she's great.
Yeah,
but I bet you Nintendo was like, man, people have problems with Pearl's forehead. Hold my drink. Watch this. You know.
Yeah, I know. Puppy. When we saw them, Puppy was just like they love Fry. Like they love her so much. So yeah. To be fair, I know what Puppy's like with their characters and whatnot. That's right up her alley. Taito.
Nintendo coming in and saying, "Oh, you like 4-head? Well, we're gonna come here and make a 5-head play."
Oh my God, no!
Saving that one.
Wow.
Well,
Fine. It's a bit-
I love that there's a trio this time over a duo. It just seems like there's so much more you can do with them in terms of mashing as musical genres, more sort of like more representation for people who want to relate more with the characters as well, because there's more options, and just more creativity to be stylistically different. Like we've got Big Man, who is just a gem, and I love him, and fantastic, and my favorite. But then you have the different cultural mixes of everyone else. So you can very clearly see that there's between the three of them, they're taking style cues from different parts of the world in their designs and their music, and mashing them all together into this one, like this beautiful collection of absolute bops, and I am living for it, and I adore it, and I can't wait to see more of them.
I feel like. Oops, sorry.
I'm just excited.
I think we all are at this point, and I feel like I saw someone was just like, "Oh wow, this really fits the theme of chaos because these are things that work together when they really shouldn't do in isolation." And I'm like, this is what I've always been saying. Chaos isn't always a bad thing. You can have good forms of chaos, and this is very much right up there with that. And speaking of chaos, we've got the Splatfests back. They will operate similarly to how they were beforehand, except you'll now have 3 teams to choose from. I say similarly, they are very, very different from Splatfest as of norm. 3 teams to choose from. The first half is your usual 4v4 standard way of doing things, which to be fair means there will be significantly less your own team versus your own team scenarios. If you don't get one enemy, you will likely get the other enemy now and not your own Tekken team, which is a very good decision. The second half is a tri-color turf war. The team who's currently in the lead will start in the middle as a full-on squad of 4. The other 2 will spawn as duos on either side of the map. And you are essentially pretty much trying to wrestle control away from that first place team. There'll be an ultra signal, which I think fires off specialized sprinklers to help ink the territory, which you have to protect and utilize at the best of your disposal. And you can also cast your vote. Well, once you've cast your vote, you can then raise your catalog level by battles and shifts to get conch shells, which they'll also impact the team results. So you've got more ways to do it. So basically, if you have to miss it because a convention is coming up, you can get conch shells ahead of time and cash them in that way for the votes. That is very nice. That actually allows people to be a bit more active with that. The Splatfest will have a world... Sorry. world premiere, which will be happening August 27th, 9 a.m. BST to 9 p.m. BST. Will run for 12 hours, so hopefully they'll have the same format going where the first 6 hours will be normal, and then the second 6 hours will be the tricolor, hopefully. We'll see. The themes. The first theme, and I immediately was just like, of course, when they announced it. Rock, paper, scissors, lizard's box. Sorry, no, minus those two. Shiver will be Team Rock, Fry will be Team Paper, and Big Man will be Team Scissors. So before we go, actually no, I say before we go, I think we should probably just get it out the way of who's on what team, and if you are not on the same team as me and Siren, then we are having words, because Team Rock, baby.
Oh, I guess we need to have words then. Okay.
I don't know!
I'm Team Rock, so no words need to be had.
That's 3 out of 5.
I'm going big man all the way. Scissors, baby.
Alright.
There we go, my man.
Okay, alright, I see how it is.
Y'all aren't Team Scissors. Y'all are Team Big Man. That's a difference, okay?
Team big man, team scissors all the way. Because knowing the Splatfest as well, everybody's gonna. I guarantee that Rock is probably gonna get, if they're gonna do the whole popularity vote thing first.
100%.
Like Rock is definitely gonna win the popularity vote. But knowing how Splatfests go, we will pick Rock and Scissors, and Paper will bloody win. Like it's just the way it's gonna go.
Okay, if paper wins, you can blame all 5 of us for not stopping Paper.
All have words with each other.
Yes, as if Rock or Scissors win, we're fine, because at least some people on this desk have at least picked the correct side. But in terms of majority, at least me, Siren, and Mel, we've got ourselves a team. Hell yeah. Sorry, not sorry. But no, seriously though, what do we all think about the second half mode? Like, straight up, tricolor turf war. That is a interesting step and a half, and I am very much looking forward to how that's going to work.
Seems like such a step out of the ordinary, but I genuinely don't know if I can form a positive or negative opinion before playing it. The only thing I have is just I'm curious to play it and see how it plays, because it is so different. I want to know how it plays. I guess I'm excited to find out.
I guess that's probably why they've pitched the test fire, to be like, all right, let's see if people actually like this, because it's like, on concept, when you look at it, it's like, yes, this is very different to how things normally operate, but will it give an advantage to that first player team, or will we actually see proper coordination coming out from the 2 duos? Like, it's gonna be very cool. Also, shut up, Puppy. Puppy is Paper. Shut up, Puppy, you don't count. But no, seriously, any other opinions on Tricolor?
I just think it's gonna be chaos.
Yeah.
And then there's that, like, what do they call it? The sprinkler of doom.
Yeah.
So I don't know how strong that's gonna be, or if it's like destroyable or anything. But I think they should have gotten somebody else to name it, maybe. But
I mean,
it is very aptly named. It's a very large sprinkler.
I imagine Big Man probably named that.
Well, you know, if Big Man named it, you know, he's right.
I like how that opinion suddenly changed the second I theorized. God damn it! No Big Man fans here, none whatsoever.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah,
I definitely agree. It's definitely a step in the right direction. Definitely.
Because you never know
if.
Because bearing in mind that if this picks up and people really do like this, but I'll just like, ooh, could we now have like 4-player teams with 3 teams, and then that would be that. This is probably them taking baby steps to see what people's opinions are of this kind of thing.
Because they didn't even mention anything about how because obviously before we had like local Splatfests where whatever was happening in Europe is completely different to what's happening in North America, or whatever's happening in Asia is very different to obviously what's happening in Europe. So it'll be interesting to see if they do like a global Splatfest and suddenly go, hey, by the way, we said 3 teams, try 4. Good luck.
Yeah,
so
that would be.
You never know, or it could be something like they do something really interesting where because there's three different modes where they kind of go, okay, everybody vote where you're going to go, and North America will be that particular that team, and then Europe is that particular team, and Asia is a particular team. So
Yeah.
that would be
Oh,
really
God.
interesting to see what they do with that. So their sort of options are endless, really, where they could take it.
Yeah, gosh, that's a very good point, actually. So, with that being said, that is everything from the Splatoon Direct, and also the bits that we have pulled from the website, and also some bits here and in between that we know from previous sessions. So, oh my goodness me. I love the fact that I've said all of my podcasts so far have always been underneath 2 hours and 2 hours at a max, and we've just ended up talking and gushing just a little bit longer than that. But honestly, I have enjoyed having you all here. It has been fun to just chat and vibe with you all. So, what I will essentially do now is ask you for your final words and opinions. And once you have given your final words and opinions, you may give yourselves your respective shout outs and let these fine people know where the hell they can find you. And my wonderful dear demi-wife and moderator in chat, Where Puppy Creations, will be able to at your names respectively. So, starting with Siren, final thoughts and opinions, and then your shout out.
My final thoughts is that I am very, very excited for Splatoon 3 because of the fact that more power now than ever, everybody is going to be able to truly shine as their authentic selves, both in regards to their fashion, their style of presenting their hair or their face or whatever, and also in their lookers. I am very, very excited of future music that we will be getting in Splatoon 3. I'm very nervous about the second phase of Splatfest because I'm out here looking at the 2v4v2, wondering if the two teams have to play a sort of friendly thing to basically get the quote-unquote winning team to try to throw them off of their high horse or whatever. I'm kind of nervous on how that's going to work, or if it's basically two people versus essentially 6 other people. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it if that ends up being the case. And just as well as that, give back Spike. Where's Spike? I miss him. I love him so much. Why did you boot him out of Splatoon 3? I've not heard anything of him. Where is he? But yes, I have been Starlit Siren once again. You can find me. I am a variety streamer. I am mainly on Twitch at the moment under Starlit Siren VT, but you can also find me on Twitter as Starlit Siren, and also on YouTube by the same name, Starlit Siren. I will be trying to get back into balancing both my streaming on Twitch and YouTube, as I did originally start on YouTube and then moved over to Twitch. But I'm going to try to balance those out. But yeah, if anybody wants to know where to find me when I go live, you will find that out on Twitter. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
No worries.
Everybody take good care of yourselves. Keep on shining for me and never lose your light.
Thank you so much, Siren. Thank you very much. And I'm very glad that you had some fun tonight. So, next up is Mal.
I'm just excited to see what Splatoon 3 is gonna bring as far as like events. We also see like Nintendo just at least Nintendo of America taking note and like starting to run events with the community. So just being able to see that and seeing where that's gonna go with the presentation of the new game. I'm really looking forward to seeing that tournament that's happening in a couple of weeks in PAX West. So that's going to be really fun. The very first Splatoon 3 tournament.
Very jealous.
Yeah, very, very jealous.
Just fly over, easy. So yeah, I'm overall excited. I'm excited to see a lot of players that I knew from the beginning of Splatoon 2's life cycle opt to come back for Splatoon 3. So a lot of familiar faces that I hadn't seen in a while. So it'll be a good time. I think it'll be really, really fun. And I hope everyone who's interested in Splatoon 3 gets everything that they want from it and more. As far as where you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Milana, just Milana Plain. I'm on Twitter, Milana TV, on YouTube, Milana TV, and I guess that's it. Instagram if you want, but I don't even go on Instagram, so whatever. So you can check me out there. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, Layla.
It's been great to have you on. Like I've missed being able to have a chance to like chat with you,
Me
and
too.
especially with all the things that you've been doing. I was just being like, I want to catch up. I want to be able to just hear you again. So yeah, thank you very much for choosing to be on here. And by the way, I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
The shirt is so good. Look at them all.
Yeah, and a friend from Japan brought it back for me. It was like, here, this is for you. I'm like, what? This is the coolest shirt
Not jealous in the slightest.
ever.
Right, next up is Nims.
Alrighty. For me, I think just generally for Splatoon 3, I'm excited about everything, to be honest. I'm just excited that it's been awesome to watch Splatoon grow from, this new IP on the Wii U from Splatoon 1 to how big it got on Splatoon 2, to be a part of the community in the UK and in Europe, and to see how much love has been poured into this game and into what it's all about. I'm just really excited to see where everybody is, willing to take this game. I think in terms of, I know a lot of people who are super excited to play this game, and they've already started out sketching up ideas and concepts of what kind of content they want to make with it. And, people, community managers are super excited to kind of create tournaments. So there'll be so many places that people can go and check out the game and play it and stuff like that. And I just hope within all of that, encompassing all of that, that we strive to keep Splatoon's space open to everybody.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing, as I mentioned, actually, me and Mel were having a quick chat before we came on live, that it's one thing that I really love and appreciate about Splatoon, that there's a space for everybody. Be it, you're competitive, or be it you're just a casual player, or be it you just love the camaraderie of it, or you just enjoy playing Salmon Run. I just hope it keeps that element alive within the game and within the community as well. And just there's so many new avenues and new weapons and new customizations and new characters and stuff like that. I'm just really looking forward to getting stuck into just streaming it and just playing it and going to events and tournaments and just enjoying a whole new generation of people who will probably latch onto this game as well, because there are people that I know who've grown up with this game. They were really young when they started playing it on the Wii U, and now they've gone into their teens or early 20s as Splatoon 3 is coming. So it's a game that they've played, half of their life. So it's going to be really nice to see the new generation that latches onto it, and then the generations that have kind of grown up with it, and see where it goes. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to that whole community aspect of it, with all the fun stuff and #BigMan. So yeah, but other than that, guys, you can check my content out if you want. I stream on Twitch. My name is it's just Nims, which is ITSJUSNIMMZ, and I use the same tag for literally everything, so it's easy to find me. My Twitter is the same, my Instagram is the same, my YouTube is the same, my Facebook is the same. Everything is, all of it is, it's just Nims. So I'm sure if you pop that into Google, you'll probably find all my channels, not my address where I live, but you'll probably find all my social. I know you'll find all my socials on there. I stream a whole bunch of different things on my channel, be it games. I do talk show stuff as well, and like content creation and building and stuff like that as well. So we do lots of different things on my channel. So if you fancy coming and hanging out, you're more than welcome to. Everybody's welcome. But thank you so much, Layla, for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it was a great pleasure meeting all you guys as well, Siren, Mel, and Taito.
Yeah,
It's been a pleasure.
It's been amazing as always. Thank you very much, Nims. And to be fair, it's like I feel like I'm getting through my wonderful list of being able to talk to people that I haven't talked to in a very long time list, because I know I got Mark on. I got Mark on like a few months back. I managed to talk with Barry whilst I got invited into the Hyper Japan Splatoon casting session, which was just a wonderful bit of fun. And I was just like,
nice.
I've not spoken to Nims since then, not counting
I
Insomnia.
know.
I want Nims, and I got Nims again.
Oh,
so.
bless you.
So yeah, thank you again as always.
You're welcome.
And last but not least, Taito.
Like, I cannot wait for Splatoon 3. I think I'm actually going to be over in mainland the Eastern Europe when it comes out, so I'm definitely taking my Switch. So
Yeah,
give me some
please
whilst-
do. Please do.
to play a lot of it whilst I'm on my travels, but I'm excited. I've always been super excited for the music. I like being able to enjoy a shooter that isn't a gritty, tactical, various shades of brown, need to be involved in a hardcore community. I just want something that looks fun, where I can stay fresh and run around as a squid. And I'm hyped. I've missed it.
It's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be so much fun. I'm definitely gonna be streaming it as soon as I'm back from my travels. When the game because I'm gonna be streaming it so much. I don't know whether I'll be just I don't know. Someone please peel me away from Salmon Run. Like do check in on me and make sure I'm okay.
Note to self: invite Taito to Salmon Run collab.
Oh no. Do not get me out.
That's the plan. Anyway, your socials.
No, you can find me at Titowley on Twitch. Usually I usually stream a variety. Oftentimes can be found occasionally singing and bursting into random song. It's the bad habit of leaving a guitar next to your desk. Also on Twitter, Titowley, or with an underscore at the end, because the name was taken by a LinkedIn account.
Boo.
I'm very sad. I know, heartbroken. Do have a TikTok. I pretend it doesn't exist, but if you find it, you're most welcome to follow on there as well. But thank you so much for having me on, though, Blado. It's been so much fun being able to just nerd out about Splatoon and be introduced to some of your wonderful friends.
Aww.
And I hopefully I get to play Splatoon with people soon.
Yes. I definitely want to be able to play Splatoon with all of you. So thank you very much for making this a very fun session. And again, thank you very much for agreeing to being on here. Not just you, but for everybody involved. And of course, if you are new to this channel and you do not know where to catch me, you can find me at TK_Layla. On everything! That's the name everywhere. That is here on Twitch, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, yes, even on TikTok. I do try to post on there on a regular basis. I have failed over these past few months, but that's because there's been a lot going on, both personal and also other things. Why is my social command not working? God damn it! Firebot, you had one job! Well, okay. Noted. I'm going to get that fixed later on in. But yeah, a massive shout out to everybody who got involved here. It has been a lot of fun. And of course, there's my handy dandy... Oh, there you go. It did work. It's just not got an S on it. Note to self. I'll add the list to that later. But yes, you can find all of my links via tk-layla.card.co because I've got my own card. It's always nice to have. And if you do want to email me about any kind of thing as well, the email is attached onto that as well. So thank you all incredibly. Like, my thoughts with Splatoon 3 have been just keep getting higher and higher with every bit of news that we've been getting, especially from the direct that happened. So as somebody who has been a fan since the very first test fire for Splatoon 1 all those years ago, and also Nims, thanks for making me feel hella old after all of that entire tour. You goddamn booger. Yeah, I am very much looking forward to how everybody treats this, both as a younger generation and those who are in the same kind of age bracket as yours truly. I am looking forward to it both casually and competitively, and therein and in between. And if you're not taking esports in the card game, we're gonna have... No, /J. But seriously though, thank you all. You have been wonderful. From start to finish. Siren, Mel, Nims, Taito... Again, I know I'm going to say thank you again, but thank you seriously for joining on in. I messaged a number of people and you four were the ones who got in touch, so it means the world to be able to spend this time with you, and hopefully we can have fun with the Splatfest and not argue over each other, because if Puppy wins, we riot. Sorry, Puppy. I love you, but I swear if you win as paper, we're having words. All 5 of us against you. /J. I would not put you through that.